got time, cuz. Today I got time, cuz. You lucky on that day I was acting cool, cuz. Nigga, what's up? How gangster are you, cuz? I don't fuck with you, cuz. You disrespecting me. I don't fuck with you, cuz. You disrespecting me. I go hard, cuz.
Hey, you guys. I hope you guys are doing good. Oh, my gosh. Again, there's still a lot going on in my city, but today is my oldest son's 25th birthday, so shout out to him. Happy birthday. I had posted the pictures earlier on Instagram and on YouTube. So a lot of people were shocked because I don't really ever post throwback pictures of me from when I was like, a kid or whatever, when I was young. Yeah, and I was a teen when I had them. And so people were like, if I wouldn't have posted the picture of me pregnant, people wouldn't even believe that I had a kid that old or that I was his mom, because people think that we're siblings. But yeah, my oldest is, that's my baby goat, honey. That's my Capricorn. Okay? It's a lot having a Leo mom and a Capricorn son. We're both very strong personalities, but I wouldn't change it for the world. You know what I'm saying? He definitely made me the woman I am today. And I'm glad. I'm glad I had him when I had him. And, that's like one of my best friends, So we talk about everything. But yeah, so it is. Thank you. Everybody's like, you haven't aged. You're a vampire. Thank you. That's a compliment. No, I appreciate it. I know it's just weird looking at the pictures. I'm like, dang, I don't look too much different than, when I was younger. You know what I mean? I don't know. God is good. You know what I mean? Water. I drink a lot of water. So, water helps. I'm not out here popping, drugs and smoking every day and, snorting lines of cocaine. So maybe that helped too. I don't know. No judgment, okay, to all the people who do lines, no judgment. But I'm assuming because I didn't really get caught up in the E craze of the late 90s and early 2000s. Remember when everybody was rolling and doing E? I was like, hell no, I won't go, okay? I get high off life, so maybe that's what helped, and I'm just not into drinking, unless it's like a special occasion, like a birthday. I might have a wine cooler, but other than that, no. So, yeah. That's my baby boy. Will always be my baby boy no matter how grown he gets. But it is crazy. I'm just like, dang. And it's so funny, like, just watching his friend group, like, they're all getting grown. He's like, dang, Mom, I'm getting old. I was like, how are you old? I said, if you're old, then what am I? He's like, nah, like, I'm OG status now. I'm no longer YN status, because I guess that's what all the young kids say. They go YN, OG, I guess old head or unk or something. I don't know, child. I can't keep up. But he said he's OG status. So I was just cracking up. I'm like, yeah, man, time flies. It flies for real. But thank you guys so much for like just the birthday messages and wishes. He says thank you as well. They made his day at work because he was dealing with a lot with the kids. He works with the kids that be, they're a handful. I tell them every day, they are blessed to have you because I have no patience. Okay, I'm old school. You don't want to listen, get your ass over here. So I couldn't do it. He has the patience of a saint. But I appreciate y'all for just sending him happy birthday messages and stuff like that. So thank you guys. But yeah, man, other than that, it has been a lot going on. We've had, 2 Zoom meetings in the past week and a half. So just thank you to everybody in Discord. We just been keeping the conversation going. Y'all have been keeping me sane. Just having a place to like turn to and talk, because it's just like everybody is burnt out up here. Everybody is literally just going through the motions. We're just trying to figure things out. Even just to go to the store, it's nerve-wracking because they're just anybody. They're going door to door. I know there was a lot of people that were being really disrespectful in the last chat, kept screaming, talking shit to my homegirl who called in and saying, we don't care. This is FBA, whatever they were writing in the chat. It was just weird. They kept writing the same thing over and over. And for all y'all who keep saying that, African Americans are getting pulled over too. This is not a Somali issue. This is not a Mexican issue. If you are a person of color, they are pulling you over. They are going door to door. And if it's a white person's house, they're asking white people, do you know where your Hmong neighbors are? Do you have any Hmong people in the neighborhood? Which homes have your Latinos? Where is the black people's homes? And a lot of the white folks, thank goodness we got a lot of allies out here. We got some racists too, but there's allies. They're slamming the door. And they're like, we don't know our neighbors. Get the fuck off of our porch. But this is what's happening now. They're going door to door. So all these people who keep screaming, oh, stand down, it has nothing to do with us. Yeah, they're pulling y'all over too. Okay? There's not much difference phenotypically between certain groups and African Americans, right? Caribbean and stuff like that. They don't know. They're just seeing brown skin. They're snatching up natives like crazy. So even now I seen on Twitter, Native American is trending because it's getting that bad. They're just grabbing literally anyone. And then yesterday there was a shooting. They were chasing somebody. They said it escalated. He was shot in the leg. I think he's okay. But then there was an African-American family trying to leave the north side because it went down over north yesterday. I didn't go to bed till like 2 because I was just getting sent so many videos. They was over north. But I told y'all in Discord, I said, oh, they're on the north side. Oh, it's about to go down. Them damn north siders did not go to bed until about 5 a.m. They was out there bombing with the police, lighting off fireworks. I mean, it was like a little mini north side war. But I knew that's what it was. I knew that's why they went over north. And so this family was trying to leave the north side because they're like, okay, they knew it was about to go down. They're trying to leave. They end up getting hit with a flash grenade. And now this poor little baby who's 6 months old, I don't know the status yet, but I know the baby was sent to the hospital. So it is bad. It is bad. And it's scary, And we're just trying to take things one day at a time, but it's like we're being punished right now, and they're trying to push us to the edge. We're getting messages from other people that this weekend white nationalist groups are coming, and they're coming to clash. And people are saying, stand down. Other people are saying that they're tired. They're ready to fight. So I don't know. I just don't know. I went to, support some of my favorite restaurants. Like, okay, I went to my nail lady because I cut off all my real nails because I was starting over after my birthday. So I cut off all my nails. So I've been growing them out now for like my birthday was 6 months ago. So they're starting to grow back out. So she hit me up like, T, I ain't seen you since your birthday. I said, yeah, I just been, doing my own nails because I just want them to grow back out healthy. And she was like, okay, well, I would love to see you again, come through when you can. So I was like, okay, it's been a while. So I go have her do my nails, and there's this Mediterranean shop. I always go there after I get my nails done. I go get a falafel sandwich. So I get my nails done. I'm like, yes, get a falafel sandwich because I haven't been over there in a while. I pull into the parking lot and I'm like, well, damn, where is everybody? Because usually it'd be a lot of people. The food is really good. And I noticed like all the chairs were like just put up. So I walked to the door and there's a letter on the door talking about we've closed. They have been open for years. I've always known them to be there in this particular suburb. They're gone. So that just made me feel like, damn, this is real. And I'm in the suburbs. I already knew that a lot of my friends over south, they were telling me that a lot of the Mexican restaurants over there, a lot of like the East African restaurants, they've all been shutting down. So now yesterday, I go to the west side because they've been hot over there. That's where all the Latinos, there's a lot of Latinos on the west side. So I go to the west side to go meet up with my girl. So I said, let me stop off at my favorite little Mexican restaurant because I wanted some Spanish rice. You know what I'm saying? They just renovated this restaurant this summer. They put in new TVs. I pull up, closed, shut down. So this is affecting businesses here. Like literally so many ethnic restaurants that we're just used to going into to get food and stuff like that, they are shut down. Right now, the schools in Minneapolis are closed until February 12th. The Minneapolis kids are supposed to be doing online training, or schooling, excuse me. They've been doing walkouts, even in St. Paul doing walkouts. It's so bad that I'm talking to my teacher friends and they're crying. Half of the school is not showing up. Most of the kids are not showing up because they're scared for their parents. So now the teachers who already struggling, right? Because teachers don't make a whole lot of money. They're pulling their money together to go buy groceries for said students. So this is not a joke. It's very easy to sit online and tell us what we should do as Minnesotans. But it's real. Like, people are really going through it. There are people right now in their homes who are too scared to even go to the grocery store because you could be at the bus stop and they can pull up on you. And again, they don't care if you're African American. If they see somebody of color, they are asking you for your papers. Case in point, this was the video that I had showed y'all when we had the meeting yesterday. Or what was that? Day before yesterday? Let me show you. This is one of the, some of y'all saw this on Discord. So for all the people who keep saying, oh, it's not, and again, this is a test run. The reason why it's happening here, this is a test run. This is spiritual. Just the name, our nickname, the Twin Cities. Anything twinning, that is spiritual. You're talking about duality. I don't want to go too deep on YouTube. Y'all know what I wrote on Discord. We're under the Janus ritual. That is who the month of January was named after. Like I tell y'all, we fight not just against blood and flesh. We are fighting against spiritual principalities. There are little demons walking around here who are getting off on energy harvesting, just torturing people, harassing them. They're getting off on this shit. This is energy harvesting. We're up here fighting a spiritual battle right now. We really are. In the month of January. Let me pull up this video. Give me just a second. Okay. Think. Let me kind of resize this here. Because I want y'all to be able to see everything. So give me just a second. Because I'll resize stuff. And then it'll just, I don't know. It'll change the size. But let's go ahead and watch this.
Can I go on my car? I was gonna see if my ID was in there.
As soon as I do this, you check out. What's the first name?
Anthony.
Common spelling?
Yeah, common spelling, yep. Damn, these niggas hopped out on me. Okay.
I pull out on that.
Brother, what? Brother, may I ask you, you feel what is going on around here?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm a citizen though. I'm about to go to work right now.
All right, you check out, sir. Thank you for your time.
Oh, shit. Yo, wow, we're good. Damn, bro. You guys really be doing that to people. That's crazy. These niggas really just hopped out on me.
But again, remember last week, y'all was in the chat screaming it don't got nothing to do with y'all and ICE would never. This were the comments that people were leaving in my chat while my girl was on the phone explaining what was going on in their community. And now you're seeing that they will, and they are.
Wow. Wow. You guys, they just hopped out on me, a black American with an afro. Wow. Oh my God. Wow. Brother, I got on a leather jacket, Nikes, and I got on an afro. That's crazy. That's crazy. And they in regular trucks, y'all. They in regular trucks. Look at what they in. They in regular trucks. Damn. No license. Wagoneer. You guys, that's sad, man. Damn, and they pulling off. Look at that. Look at that. Get that license plate, CWG9060. And there's people following them. Stay on their ass. Stay on their ass. What the fuck?
All right, so y'all just watched that video. Let me come back on the screen here. Give me just a second. There we go. Let me reply back to this person. Kelly C0383, you said Black Americans have had stop and frisk since the 90s. This is nothing new for us. That's not what we're talking about, love. What we're talking about, last week in the chat, there was a lot of people loud and very disrespectful for no reason. And they kept saying that it wouldn't affect them. Nobody's denying that stop and frisk was going on in the 90s. That was very much a real thing. But what we're saying is that all that stuff is going on right now in 2025. And that really nobody is safe. That's the discussion. So again, like I said, I went back and I was reading the comments. I'm like, who are all these trolls that were in here? You know what I'm saying? Just being very, very disrespectful. And I don't understand why and where that was coming from. It was just very strange. Because again, if you don't like me, why are you here? And I'm not saying that to you, Kelly. I'm just talking about the people who were in here last week that kept writing the same thing over and over again. I'm going to assume that they were bots trying to cause division. But I just wanted to show you that video to let y'all know that it is happening to everyone. And this is just a test run. If you think it's only going to be Minnesota, they just landed in Atlanta, I believe, the other night. They've been in Atlanta, but now they're in Atlanta full force. What I'm hearing, they're going to be deploying more to, especially the blue states. So it's just been a lot. I have some clips I can play, but before we even get on that, so before we get on the whole ICE thing and me playing clips, I want to talk about Verizon. Okay, so for the past few weeks, I have been telling y'all when we had the meeting on Zoom, I'm like, something is going on with the phone lines. And I noticed it at the end of November. And I was like, I don't know if it's just me, but I keep getting this weird SOS on my phone randomly, and it's showing a satellite. And I noticed it first happened in San Francisco. And I thought, well, maybe because San Francisco is a busy city and we was out in like the woods or something, I thought maybe that's why it kept showing SOS. But then I noticed when I came back to Minnesota, it would just keep doing it randomly. It would just keep going into SOS. So then I would notice that, because a lot of times I'll just like connect to Wi-Fi, especially if I'm like shopping, if I don't have my Wi-Fi on me. And so whenever I go shopping at Walmart, I usually just connect to the Wi-Fi so that way I can listen to a podcast or at least be able to talk to somebody, my friends, as I'm shopping around in the store. And so, because Emily be like, how do you talk and shop? I'm like, girl, I can multitask. You know what I mean? Like, that's my exercise. I'm getting my steps in. I'm shopping and I'm on the phone. You know what I mean? And I noticed over like the past few weeks, even when I connected to the Wi-Fi, it does not connect. And I remember I was talking to my homeboy in the store and we was chopping it up about something and the phone call just kept dropping. It kept dropping. Even though I was on the store's Wi-Fi and it had never happened. I was like, why does the phone call keep dropping? And then I remember I tried to call my son. Like this was like maybe a week later. I went back to Walmart. I tried to call my son because I'm trying to figure out what kind of cereal he wanted. And all of a sudden this weird message popped up. Y'all seen the message because I posted it on Discord. And it said, oops, no internet. And I said, what? So I hurried up and screenshotted it. As soon as I screenshotted it on everything, it disappeared. I've never seen that message a day in my life, and I have not seen it since. Put a teacup if y'all see me show that screenshot in Discord yesterday. It literally said, oops, no internet. And it was weird the way it popped up and said that on my phone because it felt like somebody was clowning me or something. What do you mean, oops? Like Britney Spears, is that you? What you mean, oops? Oops, you did it again? Like, what are we talking about? And so I just was like, what the hell? So I screenshotted it. And at that point, I didn't think too much of it. And then I just started asking people. And I was like, is anybody else noticing this SOS. Is anybody else having like connectivity issues? And people just started saying like they were having issues with like their Wi-Fi, their phone going into SOS for no reason. And then all of a sudden yesterday, Verizon just went down on, I think it was mainly the East Coast that was affected, but the whole Verizon network went down, and a lot of people were saying that their phones were in SOS. It was crazy. Shantia, why am I in Walmart? Because I needed to go grocery shopping. Were you going to come pick me up and take me elsewhere to go grocery shopping? Do you have any, I mean, I also shop at Aldi's too and Cub Foods, but I happened to be at Walmart. I needed some groceries. So we're not supposed to eat? I mean, I knew we were boycotting Target. I didn't know I couldn't go to Walmart and grab some cereal for my child and some milk. But okay, girl. Like, what do you mean while I was out shopping for food? But, oh, see, the chat just froze up. I don't know what was going on with the chat. It froze. It just refreshed itself. Okay, I see the teacups now. Yeah, that screenshot was crazy, right? And so everybody was saying that they were experiencing this too. So when the Verizon thing happened, everybody was blowing up my phone and tagged me like, T, Verizon is down. You've been talking about the phone issues for a moment. I feel like this is some type of test run. It's something going on. Thank you. Leave the world behind. Something is going on. I now pay for 2 different internets. This is how unstable the internet has been. If I'm near this Wi-Fi box, everything in here in the living room works well. If I go back towards my room, it may not connect. So now I'm paying an additional $50 a month for a new Wi-Fi box from T-Mobile, so that way I can have internet in my back room. That way I can connect and use my laptop back there or connect on my phone. But yesterday what I noticed, the internet Wi-Fi was not working yesterday. So I had to, and my home internet was not connecting properly. And mind you, I have extenders all through my home. So I have like Wi-Fi mesh extenders. All of this started really happening, I would say, within the past maybe 4 to 6 months. Why would I have to have 2 different internets? I have an extender literally on every floor. And I have 2 actually in my room. One in my bathroom because I have a TV in my bathroom that's mounted. So that way, you know, I can watch YouTube and stuff. And then in my bedroom. And it does not connect properly. I'm having to connect to the Wi-Fi. But yesterday, the Wi-Fi wasn't working. And so when I went on T-Mobile, they were saying that there were some connectivity issues. But I'm like, okay, well, I thought this was a Verizon thing. This is T-Mobile. But I feel like this has been going on for a while. People are dealing, like a lot of people are saying in Discord that they're having issues connecting. So Wi-Fi, even public Wi-Fi is getting really spotty. Phone calls. So I feel like this is some type of test run at this point. So let's watch this video. Good Morning America touched on it this morning.
But we do continue to
hold on. As far as what went on with not ICE, but with Verizon. I got ICE on the damn brain. With Verizon. So let me turn on the YouTube one. Turn this off. Okay. Oh, hold on. We good? Okay. Let me fix this real quick. I hate when these, like, I'll set all my layouts before I start, like, doing anything. And then it's like they just go back to however they were. I don't know why. But, okay. All right, let's go ahead and watch today. Talk about it.
Or send texts after a massive network outage.
And it dragged on for hours. NBC's business correspondent Brian Chung here with more. Brian, good morning. There are a lot of folks very frustrated yesterday. My wife among them. In fact, she went to the Verizon store in our town.
Oh, wow.
And this was the flyer that was posted on the window.
Be patient.
Be patient. They shut down the store.
Wait. This is my first time watching this. Users are reporting SOS/satellite. This is because of an outage. I have been noticing this since November. Okay? And now Verizon is confirming it's because of an outage. This has been popping up on my phone since November, since I went on my trip to San Francisco, which is a tech hub.
Store because so many people were coming in angry. Walk us through what happened and where things stand as we sit here this morning.
Yeah, and I was seeing on social media a lot of people were doing the same. They thought there was something wrong with the hardware on their phone when in reality it was the network. So again, people were seeing that SOS signal in the top corner of their phone, unable to make calls, unable to reach loved ones, unable to text or even go on the internet. Verizon saying that the issue was resolved as of around 10 p.m. Eastern yesterday. They say that if you still have issues, simply try to turn off your phone and then turn it back on. But these issues began around noon Eastern time yesterday, impacting major cities around the country from Boston, New York, Washington, Atlanta. Some emergency services saying they've even experienced some people having difficulty reaching 911. But again, Verizon saying that that issue has been resolved. They say that statement credits will be going out to people that have been affected. We don't know how much they're going to offer them, but Verizon still has not offered a reason for why this happened in the first place. And I think a lot of people are wondering, was this a hack? We don't know at this time, but Verizon telling me that they're looking into it and investigating.
So we've seen these in the years past. Verizon is not alone. AT&T had its own issues. Is there anything being done or contemplated for how to prepare for this, like a backup to the backup system for a contingency?
Yeah, well, look, 2 years ago, I think, was the most recent example of something like this where AT&T also had a hours-long nationwide outage. And I think it's a reminder for people that despite the fact that we are in 2026 now, it is the era of AI, all it takes is for one company to have issues to take a lot of us offline. People, if they did not have Wi-Fi, could not connect if they were having issues on their Verizon phone. That is something that, again, is a reminder for emergency reasons. Make sure you know who your emergency backups are so you can reach your loved ones in situations like we saw yesterday.
But again, to be clear, right now, network's back up and running.
It is back up, but we don't have a reason yet.
Or you just have a landline like you.
There you go. Keep the landline just for that reason.
Al Roker has a landline,
I was
too.
about to say, you know who else has a landline?
That's right. Got on the internet, hit my AOL dial-up. Oh, it was fantastic. Only took 12 hours.
First of all, child, if you have an older home, you're blessed to have a landline. But if you have a new home, a new build, ain't no landline. I don't have not one landline. They don't even, what's that? I got internet, Ethernet lines, but phone landlines, unless you're in an older home, most people don't even have access to a phone landline anymore. And they already said the phone companies announced, I don't know if this is, well, I'm assuming it would be nationwide. I know Minnesota, they had announced that I think this year in 2026, they're cutting off all landlines. So, Mima that still is calling everybody from the home phone, Mima about to be cut off. They want Mima to get a cell phone. They want her to get a jitterbug. Yeah, remember them old people phones? Jitterbug. The little jitterbug commercial. They want grandma to get a jitterbug, okay? So, yeah, they're talking about they're cutting off landlines. I believe it will be this year. I don't know if y'all have heard that. Yeah, my mom has a landline at her home. But, yeah, my house has no landline. And I remember I didn't even realize that until, maybe, a few months ago. And I was like, I don't have a landline. And I called my builder. I was like, I don't have a landline. He was like, yeah, why would we give you a landline? What year is this? 1982? What are you talking about? I was like, never mind. Sorry. Because, back in the day, you at least needed a landline for fax machines. If you had a fax machine, you connected to the landline, it'd make all that noise. But now, even with faxing, everything is done via internet and scanning. Scan it to your computer and email it. So you don't even need a landline for fax machines. Yeah, it took me a while. I was like, dang, I just thought we don't have a landline in here. But yeah, they don't include them in new builds. But they're talking about they're going to be cutting off all the landlines. you can still have them in your home, but they're not going to be workable, even if you have a phone plugged in. So it's crazy, man. The end of an era. I found an old picture of me when I was pregnant. I didn't post it. And I was on a red cordless phone. Y'all remember when they had them see-through phones back in the day? You can get from Target. And I remember me and my whole little girl clique, we all had different color phones. So somebody had a neon green one. I had a red one. Somebody had a purple one. Y'all remember them red color, like jelly phones? But they were cordless. I don't know if y'all had one. I had one. I was like, dang. I was just going down memory lane this morning, like going through like my old pictures when I was a kid. And the funny thing with cordless phones back in the day, you could, if you hit the different channels, you could listen to your neighbor's conversation. Because we lived in townhomes. Yep. That's what they were, Miss Twilight, VTech phones. Y'all had, VTech. That's his. I was like, oh my God. I'm going to have to show y'all the picture. I posted in Discord. I was like, oh my gosh. And I was probably like 5 months pregnant. I'm on the phone and I have a big poster of Tupac behind me and Biggie. And I was in my room because I shared a bunk bed with my little sister. Oh my gosh. I was like, I have not seen that phone in years. But I mean, they came in all sorts of colors. And I saved up for that phone too with my little job, honey. I was like, I'm buying my phone and the rest of my money is for baby clothes. And I would just stack up for baby clothes and stuff like that and pay my little phone bill. Man. Oh yeah, the party lines were everything back in the day. Julia says she still has her VTech phone in her house. It still works. That's amazing. I haven't seen a cordless phone in so long. We didn't realize how good we had it. Cordless phones. And if you couldn't afford a cordless, you'd have a regular phone with a long ass extension cord. That damn extension cord, because this was me before I could afford my little cordless phone. Because we had one family cordless phone, but it was downstairs. And my parents would clock it. Because see, back in the day, you couldn't just call your friend. You'd have to talk to the parents. Because the parents answered the phone. Hello, who is this? Can I speak to TT? Hold on. You know what I mean? You couldn't just call. You had to talk to the parents first. So I used to hate because they had the cordless phone. So they'd be like, nope, come down here and talk. Be in the family area. Don't nobody want to be in the family area talking? So when we was teenagers, we had that long ass cord. That damn cord went from downstairs to upstairs. That cord had to be 35 feet. I was like, I'm not talking in the family room. Take this damn cord all over the house. Y'all remember that, them long ass extension cords? And then we used to double dutch with them too. Them long ass phone cords. Man, memories grown up in the hood. We used to double dutch with them long ass extension cords. Sure did. We did. And then, you know what I'm saying, when I finally saved up some money, I got my cordless phone. Which was the red VTech phone. Yeah. Or my mom picking up the phone while you was talking. Oh my gosh. And like, I think it's like African parents just so nosy. They want to know who you're talking to. They would quietly pick up the phone and just sit there and listen. And so how we used to do it, you could always tell. Like, we'd be like, hold on. You'd blow into the phone. And if there was a bunch of like feedback and the phone blew funny, you knew somebody was listening in. You'd be like, hang up the phone now. Why are you trying to listen to my phone calls? No privacy, okay? That's the generation we grew up in. Y'all remember blowing into the phone? Before you get to talk about something deep? Like, hold on. These kids will never, they can never relate to that. We did. We used to blow into the phones to make sure, because it would make like a funny sound, and you could tell when somebody was on the other line listening in. Oh my gosh. My dad was notorious. He'd just be sitting there. I'm like, why are you listening to my phone call? Especially if a dude called. Oh, he wants to sit there and listen. I'd be like, get off the phone. Y'all remember that? Okay, good. It wasn't just me. Listen, I said not just African parents. Okay, so all the black parents, Latino parents too. Okay. Oh yeah, the click over method. I forgot about that. Who said that? Baltimore, Bama. Yes. Or if you try to click over and you couldn't click over, that was another way. Oh, yeah. The click over method was the second one. And then, yep, you would hear them just hurry up and hang up. You'd be like, click. Like, see, they was on the damn phone listening. Oh, yeah. That's why we made sure all, like, crazy conversations happened while they were at work or after hours when they were asleep. I remember my mom taking the phone and locking it in her room. And, like, you know, she would shut the door and put the phone in her room so that way I couldn't be on the phone at night. And was I the only one? We was on some Navy SEAL shit. I would crawl on all fours, quietly open her door, and then pull the phone into my room and run back and throw the covers over my head. That was the good old days. Oh, we was going to get on that phone. Because we didn't have what y'all had. We didn't have social media and all that stuff, you know. Oh, we was going to get on that phone. Uh-huh. And then I remember when they first came out with Star 69. Oh, my gosh. That just ruined our junior high. Because all through elementary school, Mo, the bartender, couldn't tell us shit. Remember how Bart Simpson used to call Mo and be like, is your refrigerator running? And Mo would freak out. We would go through the phone book and just call people like, oh, this person's name is Bacon. Are you cooking bacon right now? we used to just harass people when we was in elementary school. That was like the fun days on the weekend. Sit on the phone on 3 with your friends and go through the phone book and prank call people. Hello, it's down there. Switch your voice up. And then I'll never forget in junior high, we playing, we still prank calling, and somebody called back, bitch. Did you just call my house? And we was like, and that's when we realized, us broke folks in the hood, we couldn't afford the call ID yet. But them suburban people, they was calling back. Is this your mom's name? You better stop calling my home. So yeah, by the time we got to 7th grade, no more prank calls. Caller ID and Star 69 ruined our childhood pranks. Man, take me back to the 90s. I swear, take me back to a time when people didn't even know where Minnesota was on the map, let alone what ice was. You know what I'm saying? Those were the days. Going through the yellow pages and stuff. Like, yeah, we just used to have fun. Things were just so innocent back then. Somebody says, I miss calling everyone on 3-way. We'd have a whole party line. Nikki, yes. It'd be all of us. Because you call your friend, she calls somebody, then we'd be like, now you call somebody. By the time everybody, it'd be like literally 12 of us on the phone. Just talking, having a good old time. We'd all be on the phone watching music videos together, laughing. Oh, those were the days, man. Those were the days. I really miss that. Like, my kids will never even understand, It's so different. Somebody said prank calling evolved to online trolling. Huh. I never thought about that. But yeah, but our prank calls were innocent. Like, we weren't on the stuff that they do now online is sick. We'd just say stuff like, is your refrigerator running? Or, we call Asian people and be like, how you talk, like, like how kids used to back then, call Asian people and mess with them. You know what I'm saying? Go through the phone book, look for like different names and mess with them, stuff like that. Everybody do it. This is just have fun. Get people worked up. I miss them days. I do. I really do. Now it's a bunch of mess. It's just like, nothing was the same. Somebody said, we are West Indian. We had free after 3 with Digicel. Oh, you talking about cell phones. Yeah, that came later. But yeah, we used to have fun. We just go on the phone book, pick random names. You know what I'm saying? And just harass them. We were little kids. But yeah, I mean, we got them phone calls back like, you better not ever call. We're like, oh shit, no more prank calls after that. None of that. Ding Dong Ditch, I remember that. Ding dong ditch. Knock on, ring the doorbell and run. Times have changed. Oh, y'all was doing fake pizza orders now. We didn't do that. We didn't play with nobody's money or food. We didn't do that. Now, we would just call and just, jokes or be like, hurry up and buy. Man. But yeah, so anyways, I feel like this whole Verizon thing, that's what we was talking about. We was talking about phones. The whole Verizon thing, I feel like this is a test run. I feel like what they're trying to do at this point is to see what is going to happen if people do not have access to communication. And we saw that this past summer was that Italy? I forgot what country it was, when they went dark and they lost like literally all communication, cell phone service, lights, things like that. And people were just left in darkness. And I feel like, these are like little test runs to see what's going to happen. And I think, this kind of woke a lot of people up, because a lot of people were saying, like, when they didn't have access to their phone, because it was down literally all day for some people, they didn't even know what else to do. They had no idea how to get home, how to get to such and such's house. So I think what people need to, with Spain, okay, thank you, with Spain. I think what people need to really do, you need to start memorizing, locations, how to get there without GPS. We didn't have GPS growing up. We used to have to know how to read maps. And we just used to have to learn stuff. We used to have to learn streets. You walk 4 blocks up, turn on Dayton, go down Carroll. It's the third house on the right. Like, we used to have to memorize all those. When people gave us directions, we wrote them down. And you'd follow the directions in your hand that you wrote down to get to people's homes. And people had to know how to get to their home. Nowadays, I couldn't tell you how to get to my house. If someone was like, how do I get to your house? I don't know. Put in the GPS. I couldn't even tell you what my cross street is. That's how much these phones have dumbed us down, myself included. So I really, I just told myself, I really got to know my cross streets like I knew when I was younger. We used to know all our cross streets. We knew, we'd go from, in St. Paul, where I grew up, it was Selby, and then Selby, Dayton, Marshall, Carroll, Eaglehart. You know what I'm saying? We knew every single block. I couldn't tell you what that block is 1 block over from me. I don't know. It's scary. Yes, we also we knew what north was, south, east, west. Now I'd be like, we knew that the sun rose in the, sun set in the south, rose, set in the east. I just feel like I just lost a lot of just regular shit that we knew, okay? We got to start writing stuff down, important phone numbers, have a journal, a notebook in a safe place with everybody's physical number, either written down or you print it out on your computer if you don't want to write it down. Oh, it's okay. It rises in the east and sets in the west. Thank you. Because I couldn't think of which was which. We do. Somebody said they can't read a compass. I don't think I can anymore either. So we got to get back to the basics at this point in time. We're going to have to, because what that Verizon situation that happened yesterday taught a lot of people is that they're fucked. These were the conversations we were having in Discord yesterday. A lot of folks were literally saying they're fucked. They don't even know how to get home. If they were to say, okay, what's the directions to your house? They don't know. Because everybody's so used to GPS leading the way. So, again, we're going to have to go back to the basics as backups. Also, like I said, and like we've been saying for years on this channel, everybody should have some type of generator, even if it's not a gas generator, some type of backup power bank. Like I'm talking about a decent sized ones that start at like 500. So at least, you know, if the electricity goes out, you can still run a space heater, be able to cook on. You know, so these are things that I would hope that a lot of y'all, you know, over the years from what I've said, have. Because it's about to be a cold winter. And I know we've been saying that for years, but it's really about to be a cold winter. We're also going to need to know our neighbors. We're going to have to start depending on each other as a community. When we were growing up, we knew all our neighbors. We knew all the kids in the neighborhood. We knew whose parents were whose. I know my next door neighbor very well. She's real cool. And then I met my other neighbors. They just finished building their home. Cool older couple. But outside of the people that live right next to me, I probably know maybe 2 other neighbors over here. You know? So it's just like, yeah, we just really have to like get to know people, because community is what we're going to need moving forward. Because right now, with them saying that they're cutting federal funding here in Minnesota for food stamps, WIC, free lunch, USDA, and all that stuff, it's only going to be a matter of time before this rolls to other cities. They're already saying that they're cutting all federal fundings to sanctuary cities. And a lot of cities that fall under sanctuary cities are places in California, Chicago, New York, I believe Detroit may be one, could be wrong. But there was like a whole list. Larry Reed. Hey, Larry Reed. Hey, boo. He says we need to create safe Black spaces. I agree. And that is why I have my Discord. Okay? You know, we do. We all do, especially if you have a platform, because I know, you know, Larry Reed, you have your platform, so I'm sure you have something outside of YouTube as well. But yeah, I feel like my Discord has been a blessing, and it's definitely a safe space for people to just really talk and put their heads together and educate each other. Because again, don't, you know, one person doesn't know it all. I don't know it all. You know, I'm learning and living life and trying to figure stuff out. You know, so somebody may have more, you know, expertise in this particular, you know, thing. Just like when we started the garden, I didn't know how to grow food, but we started the garden room and it was just so much encouragement in there. Look how many of us were able to grow food. And by the end of the summer, you know, I had my little potato meal with the bell peppers, and it tasted so good. It came right out of my garden. Like, who would have thought? You know? A lot of us had salad that we grew, lettuce and stuff like that. So, you know, people who've been growing stuff were really in there helping and encouraging. So I agree with you, Larry. We have to have these safe spaces, especially for people of color. But yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. So now let me see here. And I'm sorry if I'm all over the place. I just really just want to come up here and just, you know, just chop it up with y'all and, you know, just kind of let y'all know what's going on and just, you know, keep y'all abreast of so many things that are happening, unfortunately. And I know a lot of people are busy too. So one thing I'm learning is that people really look forward to my videos and really been thanking me for the information I've been putting out, especially with what's going on in the Twin Cities, because a lot of people weren't really aware, or they didn't, you know, they thought it was just like a one-day thing. They didn't realize that things were escalating in the way that it is. And so that's why I just been making sure to just post. I've been on top of Madia, you know what I'm saying, to like, you know, get post up, keep people informed. You know, as I find things out and things are sent to me, you know, I let people know. But we're going through a lot. You know, a lot of us are just really trying to, you know, put on a mask to keep from crying. It's that bad. It's that bad. So I don't want to cry. God. It's bad. It's bad. It's like we're trying to hold it together, but I feel like it's going to get worse. And it's like a ticking time bomb up here. Like, people are ready to crash out, you know, and you're like trying to make sure that your loved ones and the people that you know are okay, and you're trying to check in on people, and people are really going through it. Like, you know, to go to businesses in your neighborhood and the restaurants are shut down. You know, like even when me and my son, we had to run some errands today, and I'm just like, where is everybody? Nobody's really out. So I don't know, it's just a lot. Let me get it together. It's just been a lot, like this whole fucking week. And y'all know I don't have my emotions. It is what it is. But it's been a lot this week, and just trying to be strong. And, you know, I just thank everybody who's just been reaching out, you know, and just checking on us and making sure that we're okay and stuff like that. But it's not good. It's not good. And it's like, to hear like the things that were said this morning when we woke up, that they're willing to enact the Insurrection Act. It's not a good feeling at all. So I don't know. But let me just play some of these videos. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to get emotional, but it's a lot. I'm really trying to just keep it together for everybody. But sometimes you got to check on your strong friends. But the stuff I'm just seeing, the things I'm, you know, like on like Minnesota Facebook, the things that like my personal friends are going through, you know, people getting beat up, people being attacked, people that you personally fucking know, places that you know, are used to going without fear. It's crazy. When I'm hearing white people in the suburbs say things like, the hell is ICE doing over here? Like, what? I thought this was a Minneapolis problem. It's crazy. Let me pull up these other videos here. So this was the Insurrection Act that we woke up to this morning. So I'm going to play that for y'all real quick. Give me just a second. Okay, here we go.
President Trump today threatening to invoke the Insurrection Act in Minnesota, where there is unrest ever since an ICE officer shot and killed a woman last week. And today, ICE officers shot another person. You can see some of these powerful images coming from that scene this morning. Here's Ivan Rodriguez as the clash between protesters and ICE agents heat up.
Heated clashes between federal officials and protesters erupting in Minneapolis Wednesday night after a federal agent shot and injured a man days after another protester was shot dead there.
I'm not mad at you.
The Department of Homeland Security says an Immigration and Customs Enforcement agent tried to conduct a targeted traffic stop of a Venezuelan national who drove off, crashed, and fled on foot. When the officer caught up with him, DHS alleges the man resisted arrest and began to, quote, violently assault the officer.
Our ICE agents are following the law and running their operations according to training. Last night what we saw was 3 individuals weaponize shovels and brooms and attack an ICE officer that had to defend himself.
DHS Secretary Kristi Noem says federal agents are following the law and standard protocols. She also suggested people should be prepared to provide proof of citizenship to officers.
If we are on a target and doing an operation, there may be individuals surrounding that criminal that we may be asking who they are and why they're there and having them validate their identity.
In a Truth Social post, President Donald Trump threatened to invoke the Insurrection Act to deploy federal troops to the state.
The Insurrection Act is a tool at the president's disposal, and I think the president's Truth Social post spoke very loud and clear.
State and local officials are calling for calm.
I really hope that the president does not do that. That's not what our city needs right now.
As some residents fear what could come next.
I am very scared. I'm worried that I'm not even able to go to school and feel safe.
In Atlanta, Ivan Rodriguez, WHAS 11 on your side.
So let me see. I have this other clip here. Okay, that was status quo earlier. Okay. This was the shooting yesterday. Let me play this.
To follow more unrest from last night. We were just telling you about it before the break. A man, according to DHS, Department of Homeland Security, was shot in the leg by immigration enforcement. DHS saying that Venezuelan man here illegally fled a targeted traffic stop, crashed his vehicle, and then barricaded himself inside a home, along with two others who the DHS says attacked the agent with a shovel and broomstick, or shovel/broomstick. We've seen it both ways, and that the agent fired a defensive shot at the man they were targeting and shot him in the leg. He was taken to the hospital and is expected to be okay. Minneapolis police say that the two accused of assaulting the federal agent are in custody. DHS just updated us and let us know that all three now are in custody, the man they were targeting and then the other two who were apprehended last night as well. So minutes after the shooting, though, we just kind of showed you how those protesters were starting to gather at the scene. Minneapolis police actually characterizing this as violent. They say that people were throwing things, fireworks, rocks, ice chunks at the agents. So there was tear gas there. You saw crowds disperse. You may have also seen or heard from a Minneapolis family who was there in their vehicle during some of this chaos. A couple and their 6 children, ages 11 years old all the way down to 6 months. They were there and they wanted to share some of what happened to them last night. We spoke with them a little bit this morning, last night, and then this morning on the phone. The father spoke with us on scene after emergency responders were able to take his children to the hospital. So we wanted to play you first a little bit of last night's scene before we bring them in for a conversation.
Officers threw flashbangs and tear gas in my car and made I got 6 kids in the car. But my 6-month-old can't even breathe. My 2-year-old then flipped out the damn car. This was flipped over. My car filled with tear gas. I'm trying to pull my kids out the car.
And Sean Jackson and Destiny Jackson join us now. He was the gentleman we spoke with last night, and Destiny was there in the vehicle as well. Thank you guys for joining us today to talk through what happened last night. We appreciate it. Destiny, when we talked to you this morning, you were saying that your family lives just a few minutes away from where this happened in the Hawthorne neighborhood. Can we first kind of step back and tell us about what was happening? You know, how did you end up in that neighborhood?
Well, I live in the neighborhood. I had just left South Minneapolis from attending my oldest child's basketball game at Anderson Middle School. And on the way home, we stopped at our neighborhood grocery store to get dinner, actually. And we continued our path home, which happens to be like the way through the protest. We weren't aware that a protest was happening. And once we got that way, we did see lights and stuff, and we continued our path to go home because it wasn't blocked off or anything. And in the mix of passing it, my husband stopped, and asked what was going on and stuff like that. And there was people there, like, just explaining to him what happened.
And Sean, tell me a little bit about how your family's doing today. We understand that, I don't know how many of the children went to the hospital last night. Tell us about that.
3 of the children went to the hospital. just from, of course, my infant baby, because he did stop breathing and I had to give him mouth to mouth and CPR to bring him back. And then my 11-year-old and my 7-year-old who has asthma, so they had to be treated. And there was me and the father who had to be treated also.
Tell me a little bit about, because people I think want to know, obviously you were on your way home, you said, from this game. What made you want to get out and stop and kind of, not just keep going? What were you guys what was the conversation had in the vehicle?
Well, after we had stopped and he had asked what was going on, we in the mix of all of that, I seen my mother. Now, I wanted to get her up out of there before anything did happen, because as we were going through, it was not violent. Like, we were able to pass through. And I seen her. She recently got a congestive heart failure diagnosis yesterday morning. So I just wanted her, just not to be there, because I didn't know if it was going to be violent or not. It took a couple, maybe 20 to 30 minutes to get her up out of there, because how she felt so deeply about what happened. And so as we were leaving, actually, ICE were coming our way in vehicles, and a couple of them proceeded to start screaming in my window, and they were saying, get out of here, get the F out of here. And we were telling them, if you guys will move away from my car, we can get up out of here, which is what we're trying to do. You guys are in the way. We know what happened when when Renee tried to move, get out the way. You guys said that he hit you when she didn't. So he didn't want to move the car. He wanted to wait for them to move. And as they proceeded to move past the car, once they got to the back of the car, they rolled a tear gas bomb under the car.
How quickly, can you characterize how quickly this escalated? How long were you there? Did you sense things were starting to turn? Were there opportunities to try to leave before it escalated?
Okay. All right. I'm back, y'all. I had to just blow my nose and breathe. So I feel a little bit better. But you guys saw that, what was going on with that family yesterday. And that's on top of that, the Latino man who got shot. So let me check. There was some other stuff here. Okay. So I'm going to show y'all some Instagram videos here. But before we do that, let me go ahead and shout out my girl. Oh my gosh. Moneybag Mo. Thank you so much, sis. Moneybag Mo's in the building. I wish I had real sound effects. Thank you so much. Moneybag Mo just sent $499, and 99 cents. So almost $500, like always. Thank you so much, sis. I really, really appreciate you. Just thank you for always coming through and supporting my channel and showing me love. So it just always feels good to have I'm talking about really genuine people, really genuine, supporters who are around me, who genuinely like me and really support me, and they're not here for ulterior motives. So thank you so much, sis. I really, really appreciate you. Let me go ahead and read some more of these super chats here. Ebony Onyx sent $10. She said, be safe, enjoy life, and remember you are special. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, sis. Thank you. Charnel Monet sent $2. Says, hey, T, happy birthday to your son. And yes, he's an OG now. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Dexter Davis, he gifted a membership. Thank you so much, Dexter, for always looking out for the tea sippers and gifting a membership. If you guys want to watch any of the deep dives I've created, get your membership. So thank you. Let's see here. Bianca Gutierrez, 8021, sent $49.99. Says, hey, Lovely T, this is my last semester at San Francisco University, and I want to thank you for keeping me company while I studied. Haha, love you, girl. Love you too, and congratulations. And I just pray and hope that you're able to find, work in your field and, everything just works out for you. So, congrats once again. Thank you so much for the support. Let's see here. Blair Mason sent $4.99. Says, I've been saying that they'll come after us because they always want to lock us up and deport us somewhere. Liberia exists for a reason. Yeah, it's insane. The stuff that's going on right now. They've even made a deal, and y'all can write it in the chat if you've heard this, with a few Caribbean countries. I want to say St. Kitts and maybe a few others. They told U.S. that they're willing to take some of the deported people, the ones that their country won't take them back, but they said no Haitians. And I'm like, even with all this going on, y'all are still throwing shots at the Haitians? Like, what the hell? I forgot what country it was, but their prime minister said they'll take different people from the Caribbeans, but they won't take back Haitians. So, I don't know if y'all saw that, but that went viral yesterday on Instagram. Let's see here. I don't care enough, bro. I like that name. They sent $9.99. They said, hey, Auntie, I just started my hair business in NYC, and I'm working on getting licensed. Any advice? I remember you used to do locks, and that's my specialty. Love from Brooklyn. Locks by Beck. Thank you so much. I just did locks on the side, so I was never licensed. Yeah, my nephews, they're grown now, man. Trey, the one whose locks I did, that was like, I just want to shape my locks for a bit. He cut his locks off, but Trey's grown. He's a father of 3. My other nephew, Tim, he still has his locks to this day. To this day. Yeah, Tim still got his locks. They're long, they're luscious. You know what I mean? So he's doing good. I don't think Tim has any kids, but he's doing good. They're both doing really good. I started my youngest son's locks when he was in 8th grade. He decided he wanted locks. So I started his locks, but I never retwisted them. It was this other young lady that used to retwist them, and she used to do like an amazing job on his hair. And then when I went to Puerto Rico, he cut off his locks. And I'm like, why did you just cut your hair off? He's like, I've been wanting to cut them off. I want to start over. And so, yeah, he waited till I was in Puerto Rico and then FaceTime me. He had cut his locks off. But now he's growing his hair back out, and he has braids. So I don't know. So he has braids now. I would just say, do what you love. And as long as you're doing a good job, the people will come. There's definitely money to be made. Natural hair, is a big thing now. It's not like back when we were younger when everything was perms. People need natural locticians. You can make anywhere from $100 to $200 retwisting hair. I don't know if that's the only thing that you're doing, because I know you said that that's your specialty, but I know if you're going to be working with chemicals, you do want to make sure that you're licensed. So just make sure you cross all your T's and dot your I's. For some people that work on a smaller scale, you don't need a license, but if you're trying to take it more commercial, you definitely want to make sure you have everything lined up for your business. Make sure that your name is trademarked, okay? You don't want to start a business and build clientele, and then a hater, buys your name, because who holds the trademark owns the business. So you got to make sure that all of your paperwork is in a row, your EIN numbers, tax stuff, everything. So, and also make sure, depending on how you get paid, putting aside 30% for taxes. That's what messes a lot of people up when they start businesses. They think, oh, all this free money. Oh, all this money. Oh, no. IRS gonna want their cut. And they go through your Cash Apps now, your PayPal. So if you're taking electronic payments, all of that is being reported to the IRS. So if you make a certain amount, you're going to have to come up with tax money. So just make sure, that's just a rule of thumb. Always put aside 30% of everything that you make from the client. And you may not even owe that much, but I'd rather have all this money here, and then, you know, in case I owe, I can pay it, and then whatever I have left over is what I have left over. So that's a really important thing that I would say too, as far as with your business. But other than that, good luck, and thank you so much for the super chat. Let's see here. Hold on, it just refreshed. Shelly J says a coworker said Verizon was offering people $20. $20 in my baby boy voice, because what the fuck? That's crazy. So that's the refund for all the headache that they caused yesterday, just the $20 refund? But let you be late on your Verizon bill. That's the crazy part. But thank you for the super chat, love. Chocolate covered scorpion said $9.99, says New York had a blackout in the summer of 2003. Nothing worked except for my landline with the cord in the wall. Even the power was out. I remember hearing about that. Yeah, that was years ago. I did remember hearing about that. But I thought New York had another blackout recently. I want to say like within like the last 5 years. It wasn't long. It wasn't like that one, but I thought recently they also had a blackout as well. But thank you for the super chat. Street Council sent $5. Says, T, do you remember the Loop chat line? We was too grown for our age. Now, we didn't have the Loop chat line. What we had in Minnesota, it was called the Telecafe. And you'd call it. Shout out to all the folks in the Midwest. They'd be like, welcome to the Telecafe. And looking back on it, we are so lucky that we survived the 90s. It was nothing but grown men on there talking to our little 13, 14, 15-year-old asses. Grown ass men. Like, how old are you? What junior high do you go to? Oh, I'm at such and such junior high. Oh, okay. Can I come pick you up? No. You know what I mean? It was never, because we got on there thinking we'd be talking to other, 13, 14-year-old boys. Not on the Telecafe. It was all grown men. So, yeah. And then I found out as I got older, there was one for different cities. So your city was the Loop chat line. We had the Telecafe, but I know my girls in LA, it was a different number for them. And then like some of my friends on the East Coast, they had a different type of chat line. But they also the same thing. Grown men on there trying to holler at 13, 14-year-olds. Y'all remember that? Them little chat lines? This was before... we didn't have no internet back then. You would call it. It was called the Telecafe. It was a free number for the girls. But if you call from the men's side, I guess they charged the men. So it would be all of us girls. But I remember I made a few friends because we'd all be on there chopping it up. You know what I'm saying? So because I lived in St. Paul, I would make friends in Minneapolis. Like other girls, that were like around my age in Minneapolis, like, oh, what school do you go to? Da, da, da. Oh, do you shop at Dots? Y'all gonna be at the Mall of America? Like, I met a few people, talking to other girls on there that were like really cool. Because you could just talk to people, but then like the men could join in, and it was always men. It was never 13-year-old boys. Somebody said we have that still. I don't know why they would. People just have moved it now to, they can just talk to damn teenagers on the internet. So, yeah, back in the day was a small line. So, yeah, okay, so Tracy remembers. Somebody says that's how these little discords be like now. Yeah. For some of them, not ours. We got grown folks in ours. Ain't no kids running my shit. LA, okay, so LA had their party line. Yeah, every city had a different name for theirs. But ours was the Telecafe. That was ours. And I forgot why it got disconnected. Because, we used it for like a good year and a half. Maybe, I don't know, maybe kids ended up missing. I don't know. Just one day we called the number and it was like, do. And I was calling about like, the Telecafe is gone. What happened to the Telecafe? When I tell you, it is such, God was on our side as kids, honey. The fact that we survived and we're here to this day to talk to y'all. We would get in the car with anybody, just kids, can you take me to Minneapolis? I don't feel like getting on the city bus. Sure, get in the car. Me and all my homegirls hop in somebody's car as long as they're going. And, you know, hitchhiking, that's what they used to call you with the thumb, hitchhiking. But we didn't do the thumb thing. We didn't do, that was 70s. That's old people. You know, there was the kids from the 70s. They would hitchhike. We would just be walking the block and dudes would pull up on us. And be like, where y'all going? Oh, we about to jump on the 21 and go to the Mall of America. Oh, I'll take y'all. Oh, shit, okay, bet. We ain't got to spend our bus money. Sorry, I'm just... Oh, my gosh, yes. That's how it was when we were kids. We just, you know, that's why I say, like, as kids, you just don't know any better. Like, now as an adult, oh, my gosh. Would I just jump into some strength? Absolutely not. But as a kid, you don't have any fear. And again, it doesn't necessarily mean that any of those guys had any, like, nefarious intent with us. You know what I mean? You know, they took us to where they said they were going to take us to. You know what I mean? Nothing happened, but you just never know. Because how many other kids may have gotten to cars and they were never seen again? But that was just the norm. That just, it wasn't weird. Yeah, it was what a time to be alive. That was just the norm back in the day. I know a lot of y'all 2000 kids, y'all can judge us. Bitch, we was fearless, okay? That was just the norm. You're walking down the block, somebody pulling up in a nice car. Where y'all going? Oh, y'all look good. Where y'all going? Oh, we're going to the mall. We're going to Southdale. We're going downtown Minneapolis. Oh, I'm going to downtown Minneapolis. No, damn well they went. Sir, your ass wasn't going to downtown Minneapolis. You was just trying to get our phone number. Tell me, oh, well, you're in luck. I'm going to the Mall of America, too. Like, damn. And we always thought it was our lucky day. Like, oh, wow, bet. They're going to the mall, too. But now that I'm older, I'm like, no, they wasn't. Their asses was going up the block and seen some shorties and spun the block, and now they want to go to the Mall of America. Them was the good old days, boy. I just thank God that auntie is here, okay? Oh, my God. Then you get in the car, they're smoking weed. And remember, everybody had that bass in the back of the car. Do it. Your chest would just be vibrating. You'd be like, whew. They'd have so much bass in the trunk. Oh, my gosh. Late 90s, early 2000s. But we survived shit. We still here, honey. Oh, yeah. Somebody said they used to do that in Jamaica. Oh, so this was international. So in Jamaica, too, they pull up on y'all. Okay, somebody said in NYC, we would jump in and out of cabs. Oh, okay, y'all had the city life. Okay, so y'all would jump in and out of cabs. Yeah, in the Midwest, they just pull up on us. Yeah, it's so funny. Oh, it's subwoofers. That's what they were called. Thank you, Jesse. Yes, subwoofers. Oh, my gosh. You'd get out the car and your ears would just be ringing. You couldn't hear for like the first 20 minutes once you get out their car. You'd smell like damn weed. And then I was always the girl, you know, I don't smoke weed. That's just never been my thing. And they'd be like, are you the police? Bitch, I'm 13. What do you mean am I the police? What the fuck? Because I don't smoke weed? Too young to smoke weed, you know? What do you mean am I the police? Like, what? Oh, in Zimbabwe too. Oh, okay. So it's an international thing. So just all of us in the 90s were just wilding out. The girls in the 90s in Zimbabwe, in Jamaica, in LA, in Boston. So all of us were just jumping in and out of cars without any type of fear. Oh, man. I'm telling you, that was the hustle as a kid was to not spend your little $5. Because we'd have just enough to get on the bus to go to Minneapolis, hang out in downtown, or go to the Mall of America, okay? So the goal was to, hopefully we'll run into somebody that we know from the hood or a random that can take us there, and then we'd have more money in our pocket, and we'd have enough money for a Cinnabon. Because back then, Cinnabons, you could get a Cinnabon for $5. Two. They were like $2.50 back in the day. How I know? Me and my best friend at the time, we go to the Mall of America, she'd get a Cinnabon, I'd get a Cinnabon, and then we'd get frosting and we'd share the frosting. The frosting back then was 10 cents. Do you know I told this story to the Cinnabon girl at the Mall of America, and she looked at me like, I don't know why I told her this story, and I'm like, and that's how I'm like, damn, I'm getting old. I was like, because, you know, y'all know I like Cinnabons. The Cinnabon, just for a Cinnabon in 2025, $9. The frosting is $1. So now I'm hot. And so I told her, I said, do you know when I was coming here, you know, you could get 2 Cinnabons for $5 and the frosting was 10 cents. And I'm talking about there's a line behind me because now I'm like just kind of annoyed. And she's like, 2 Cinnabons for $5. She said, well, when was this? Was this recently or something? And I had to like really think back and I was like, oh my God, this was the summer of 97. She was like, ma'am, get out of my line. This was in 1997. She looked at me like, do you know what year it is? And I was like, oh my God, this was so long ago. She was like, that was almost 30 years ago. I was so embarrassed because I'm telling this story like this happened in like 2020 or something. The girl was like, if you don't get out my fucking line. I know her ass wanted to say, objection. What are you talking about, ma'am? Like, she was like, well, what year was this? What do you, a $5 Cinnabon, 2 for $5? And I was like, and I had to really think about it. She's like, well, what year? Like, when did this happen? And I'm like, the summer of 97. Oh, girl was like, next customer, come on. I was so embarrassed. I said, oh, I'm officially old. I am officially older. Not me pulling the Cinnabon girl's coattail and telling her that was my back in my day story. I was so embarrassed when she was like, and you know, she's Gen Z. So she's just like, well, you know, at first she was intrigued. Like, okay, was this like a special that we were running? Was this like, breast cancer awareness? Like, I'm confused. Like, when did this happen? And then I had to think about it. I was like, the summer of 97. She was like, what? That was almost 30 years ago. At that point, I just did my walk of shame. I grabbed my Cinnabon, my cup of water. Kept walking like that. I just walked off at that point. I was so fucking embarrassed. I was like, not me trying to like confront her about a price from damn near 30 years ago. T, get your life. Oh my gosh. Y'all had to be there. $5, 2 Cinnabons, frosting, 10 cents. Oh my gosh. I know the Cinnabon kids hate to see me coming. Because I'm gonna keep telling that story like, back in my day. Oh my gosh. All right, so let's go ahead. Let me get out to the other videos that I wanted to show. How long I've been out here? I've been out here for how long? Let me look. Okay. I've been out here for a while. Okay, we're gonna keep going. An hour and a half. We having fun. Y'all are making me laugh and forget about the turmoil that's going on outside. So I thank y'all. Yeah, she looked at me like, get your ass up out my line, lady. I was so embarrassed. I was like, did I just tell this girl a story from the summer of 97 like it happened in 2022? Like, damn, that was my back in my day story. Gosh. All right, so we're going to watch some of these Instagram videos about what's going on here. Let me pull this up here. Okay.
Concerning news this morning. Kristi Noem, Trump's DHS secretary, is now encouraging the president to invoke the Insurrection Act against the American people. Here's what she said this morning.
A violation of the law in many places. I discussed with the president this morning several things that we are dealing with under the department and different operations. We did discuss the Insurrection Act. He certainly has the constitutional authority to utilize that. My hope is that this leadership team in Minnesota will start to work with us to get criminals off the streets. Remember, we are there in surged operations because of the largest fraud scheme in American history.
Yeah, she is right about one thing, though. There is serious fraud happening in Minnesota. It's ICE. It's the billions of taxpayer dollars that are going towards this waste, fraud, and abuse known as ICE. We could be using our taxpayer dollars for healthcare, housing, education. What's it going towards? Blue states are getting punished, even though we're the ones paying the most taxes, like places like California and Minnesota, for ICE. Nobody wants this. It's disrupting our economy. It's getting in the way of American citizens' lives. And of course, it's attacking immigrants who are simply just trying to contribute to our economy. ICE is a joke, and so is Kristi Noem. Folks, I have some extremely concerning news this morning.
Among other things, that they are doing everything correctly. 32 people died in ICE custody last year. 170 US citizens were detained by ICE, and Renee Good was shot in the head and killed by an ICE agent. How does that equate to them doing everything correctly?
Why was Renee Good unfortunately and tragically killed?
Are you asking me my opinion? Because an ICE agent acted recklessly and killed her unjustifiably.
Oh, okay. So you're a biased reporter with a left-wing opinion.
What do you want me to do?
Yeah, because you're a left-wing hack. You're not a reporter. You're posing in this room as a journalist, and it's so clear by the premise of your question. And you and the people in the media who have such biases but fake like you're a journalist, you shouldn't even be sitting in that seat. But you're pretending like you're a journalist, but you're a left-wing activist. And the question that you just raised and your answer proves your bias. You should be reporting on the facts. You should be reporting on the cases. Do you have the numbers of how many American citizens were killed at the hands of illegal aliens who ICE is trying to remove from this country? I bet you don't. I bet you didn't even read up on those stories. I bet you never even read about Laken Riley or Jocelyn Nungray or all of the innocent Americans who were killed at the hands of illegal aliens in this country. And the brave men and women of ICE are doing everything in their power to remove those heinous individuals and make our communities safer. And shame on people like you in the media who have a crooked view and have a biased view and pretend like you're a real honest journalist.
Thanks, Caroline.
It's like you can't even have a disagreement with these folks or see things in your own way anymore. But this is the people who are always talking about censorship, and they're not for censorship. At this point, you can't even disagree.
It's some bullshit if they don't have anything to say. That's all I gotta say. That's insane. Silence is insane. Absolute fucking silence.
So this black guy, he's in front of First Avenue. So
is nonsense. Not even a we stand with our community, not even a bullshit. 50 years they say they've been around. 50 years they say they've been a staple of this community. And they can't find two words to rub together for the people who pay the electric bill that pays all of them. They don't got a single word. That's performative.
So basically what he's saying, so this is First Ave. This used to be one of the clubs that Prince owned back in the day. It's a big club. It's a big staple in the Twin Cities. So what he's saying is that they went and they painted George Floyd's star, because on First Avenue, it has like all different types of celebrity names on there. And Prince's name is like in gold or something. But he's saying that that's performative because First Ave, which is like a big, like when you think about downtown Minneapolis, you think about First Avenue, the club. And they haven't put out a statement or anything. So that's what he's calling out. Wow. So we're just strolling through my feed, and this is just all the stuff that's coming up. So right now they're showing a fight breaking out between high schoolers who walked out of school, because a lot of the high schoolers around the Twin Cities have been protesting ICE. So it looks like now ICE is clashing with them again, which is crazy because we just had that situation that happened last week at Roosevelt High School. So this is not good.
The internet is giving rappers Nelly and Ludacris side-eye right now after they agreed to perform at Rock the Country Music Festival this summer. It's being referred to by participants as MAGA Music Fest. Ludacris and Nelly will be the only two non-country music performers at the festival. They'll be joining the stage with Kid Rock, Blake Shelton, Jason Aldean, and Hank Williams Jr., all huge supporters of Donald Trump and MAGA.
Well, I mean, Nelly been performing. I'm not shocked. But again, you know, the money's not moneying, and people are going to go where the check is. You know, we see what happened with Nicki Minaj, so I'm not shocked at all. You know, to each his own, child.
All power to the people. Chairman Paul Berton reporting for At the Community Defense Duty. Listen, two things that I need to run by you. Thing number one is, a lot of people are saying that we should not stand up against ICE because we're standing for people that aren't us. And Black Panthers only stand for black people. That is a lie. Huey P. Newton said that we are internationalists and we stand with all oppressed people no matter what color they are. That's the founder of the Black Panther Party that said that. So everybody who's running around talking about Black Panthers don't stand up for people other than black people don't know a damn thing about the Black Panther Party. That's thing number one. Thing number two, the Black Panther Party created something called the Rainbow Coalition, which is a coalition of Hispanics, Asians, whites, and blacks from all over the world working together to fight oppression. Again, the Black Panthers stood with the Mexicans, stood with the Puerto Ricans and the Dominicans, stood with the Japanese, the Vietnamese. The Black Panthers did a whole campaign to end the Vietnam War because they stood with Vietnam. So for you guys who are talking all of this gibberish about, you guys aren't following traditions of the original, who do you think our leaders are? Aaron Dixon is an original Black Panther, right? Aaron Dixon is an original Black Panther who walked with Huey Newton. That's our leadership. And Billy Che Brooks, that was Fred Hampton's right-hand man. So you guys you sound stupid, to be honest. You sound like you don't really know what you're talking about. Doing a lot of hooting and hollering and don't really know what you're talking about. If you watch Huey Newton's speech, he specifically says, we are not black nationalists. We are internationalists. And we stand with all oppressed people across the globe, no matter what your ethnicity is. Come on, man. Y'all don't know what you talking about. You telling us what we're supposed to be doing as Black Panthers, and you don't know the first thing about a Black Panther. All power to the people, though.
I like him. He's been coming up my timeline as of late. Now, he's from Philly, and they've been really out there patrolling and keeping a lot of people in Philly safe and standing with, people who are going through it in Philadelphia. So I like the fact that he said that. Because most of the people who are talking and trying to create all this division online, a lot of them aren't out there. They're not trying to do anything. They just want to create division. They're not even going to go out there and stand, for themselves, let alone for other people. So I respect the fact that, he's keeping it real and he's saying that he's there to help all people, But they're definitely handling their business in Philly. I've been seeing a lot of Black Panther videos, so respect to them. I don't even know who these people are. They keep coming up on my timeline.
Friend called to ask me what.
I don't watch any couple videos.
Guess what? ICE isn't just showing up randomly anymore. They're using software to decide where to go and who to take. According to documents obtained by multiple reporters, ICE agents are now using a targeting app built with help from Palantir to plan immigration raids. The app gives agents a digital map filled with pins. real people, each one tied to a detailed dossier, name, photo, date of birth, immigration ID number, and even a confidence score rating how likely it is that that person actually lives at that address. And agents don't just search one person at a time. They can draw a shape around a neighborhood and instantly generate a list of targets. ICE officers have admitted under oath that they use this tool to find target-rich areas, meaning places with the highest concentration of people they can detain. The system pulls data from multiple federal agencies, immigration records, and private databases. And the goal isn't accuracy, it's efficiency. So if the app says there's only a 10% chance someone lives at that house, they won't bother. They go where the numbers are. And it doesn't stop there. But you're probably aware, ICE has built teams to monitor social media 24/7, watching Instagram, TikTok, X, Facebook, YouTube, even Reddit, feeding more data into the system. So when people ask how ICE keeps showing up everywhere at once, or why neighborhoods feel under siege, this is why. Guess what?
Okay. So those are just some of the videos I wanted to show y'all. And then it was another one. Let me see if I still have it up. Give me just a second. Let me see if I still have it. It was some of the stuff that was going on with the natives. Okay, so this is the latest that they're trying to do with the Native Americans, which is insane. It really is. So let me play that video here real quick as well. Let me fix this here. All right.
Department of Homeland Security is holding Native Americans hostage unless tribal leadership signs an immigration agreement allowing federal agents access to tribal lands to conduct immigration raids. Now, the 3 members that the tribe knows about from the Oglala Sioux tribe in Minnesota were detained last week during immigration raids. They weren't at protests. They weren't doing anything other than going about their daily lives and were stopped because of the color of their skin. These are the original citizens of this land. Their ancestry goes back tens of thousands of years. And immigration, customs enforcement officers.
Hold on. People are saying that they can't hear me. Y'all can't hear me? Because nothing has changed. That is weird. I wonder if they're messing with the volume. Let me know if y'all can hear me, because I'm seeing several people saying they cannot hear me. And my microphone is literally right here. The mic is fine. You can hear me? And you guys can hear the video too? Because there's a few people keep writing that they can't hear me. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why it's sounding quiet. That's weird. I'll move it over a bit, but everybody else is saying that they can hear me just fine. Okay. Thank you, guys. I'm going to keep playing the video. So basically, he's saying that they want access to the reservations, to, the Indian lands, where a lot of the natives stay, so that way they can go and arrest people. This is crazy.
Picked them up, detained them, and are now holding them until the tribal leadership agrees to the demands of DHS. This detainment violates a 150-year-old treaty between the United States and the Oglala Sioux Nation. They are their own government. They are their own entity. They have their own lands that they signed a treaty for and to live on. And now DHS is attempting to bypass that treaty illegally, also that they can go in there and go after more people with brown colored skin, which includes the majority of individuals that are members of that tribe. DHS wants to expand to arresting and detaining, with tribal leadership consent, more Native Americans.
That is crazy. And like he said, the natives are the original people. That is crazy. So, again, all of this stuff is getting It's just escalating really bad. And this video is currently going viral. I don't know if you guys have seen this. This happened in Atlanta. One of my friends in Atlanta sent me this video. This is how comfortable people are getting with their racism. So let me show y'all this video here. I'm waiting for it to start over. This is ridiculous. Okay. This real quick here. I don't know if y'all have seen this yet, but this is going viral all over TikTok and Instagram. And like I said, this took place in Atlanta. So people are getting really comfortable with the way that they're talking.
Here. I'm gonna kick the shit out of you. You do it now? Yeah. Take a shot, motherfucker.
Hey, get out of here.
Yeah, I'm a fucking citizen, you fat shithead. You're a nigger.
No.
You're a fucking nigger!
I'm sorry.
Yeah!
No, you good.
Okay. What are you gonna do? It's free speech! You fat, ugly shithead!
Sorry.
Fucking free!
Get out of here.
I'm gonna kick the shit out of you. You do it now? Yeah. Take a shot, motherfucker.
Hey, get out of here.
Yeah, I'm a fucking citizen, you fat shithead. You're a nigger.
No.
You're a fucking nigger.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, you good.
Okay. What are you gonna do? It's free speech.
So that just shows you right there. He don't know if that man is African American, if his family, you know, is a native, you know, because there were black people that were here on this continent, and then there were black people who brought, you know, who came on slave ships. He doesn't know that man's historical background, but he's literally telling him, you're the N-word and I'm a citizen. But folks keep wanting to say that, oh, they're not talking about us. People are getting real comfortable. He didn't care that the camera was there. He don't give a damn about going viral. And if anything, once people find out who he is and try and, you know, get him fired or whatever, they'll be sending a give, send, go. Just like they did to the lady who cussed out that Somalian child, the white lady who cussed him out up here in Rochester, Minnesota. And just like they did to that white Cinnabon lady. She was able to get $50K. The other lady made close to like $700,000. And he's going to be able to get a check too. It's just really sad. And at this point, I think some of these folks are definitely acting up in hopes of going viral so they can get their bills paid, so they can get a check. It's just disgusting. Now, this happened in Minnesota. I'm going to show y'all one more video here. This happened last night after everything went down on the north side with the shooting and the thing with the baby, and there were cars left in the road. And so these people found like some type of document that ICE left. And so they're talking about it on social media. This has been viral as well. I'm going to show y'all this video here.
Is it live? Yeah. In the original shooting that happened here tonight, the ICE agent vehicles that were parked on the street in the shooting, they had to leave their cars behind because they got surrounded by protesters. One of the ICE agent vehicles got broken into, and I found this paperwork. It has a list with FBI operation info. It's got full names of FBI agents, phone numbers, emails. There's maps on where they're staying, where they're holding immigrants. There's hotel names in there. There's judge names. This paperwork has people's full names and their email. Is it live? Yeah. In the original.
So, yeah. And the video goes longer. This must be just the short version, but there's a longer version online. and they had one of the things that they found out is that the hotel rooms, they've not only booked out literally many of the hotel rooms in Minnesota, they're also booking out many of the hotel rooms in Wisconsin, because Minnesota is very close to Wisconsin. And they found out that a lot of those hotel stays are booked for 6 months. That was frightening. So this doesn't seem like it's going to end anytime soon. Why would anybody book a hotel for 6 months? And it doesn't necessarily mean that it's for the same agent, of course, but the fact that they're booking these rooms for upwards of 6 months, yeah, something's not right. So it's a lot of information coming on. Okay, now I'm getting a poor stream. It's saying that my stream is messing up. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain a smooth stream. I was just at excellent. Now it's saying poor stream. So maybe because of the video I just played, they just literally like downgraded my stream. I'm getting error messages on my, I'm going to take a screenshot so I can show y'all in Discord. I have an error message and it says poor stream activity right now. Okay, as long as y'all can still hear me, I'm still going to keep going. But that's just what's popping up on my screen. Let's see here. Okay, it's fine. Okay. Let me read some of these super chats. Let me scroll up here. Hold on. It like refreshed. Okay. Shout out to Dream Les Coco. She gifted 5 memberships. Dexter Davis gifted another membership. Vicky Love GA23 says, I'm not surprised. Trump wants martial law invoked for he cannot be removed from office and start a war prevents the elections. November 5th, we all lost. Yeah, a lot of people are saying that. A lot of people are saying that. Taurus's Love Luxury sent $9.99 says, T, we got your back, sending love from wretched ass Florida. Thank you so much. Then she said, did Christian come home? From what I heard, he was located. I don't know if he's necessarily home, but I did hear that they located him. But I had asked my son, he said he didn't know, and he was going to try and check with his friend, and because he's my son's friend. So he said he hadn't heard back from his friend yet. So hopefully he's home. Hopefully he's home. Okay. Chrissy718 says, my mom used to pick up the other phone, like hurry off the phone, I need to make a call. Then every time I would get off, she would never use it. Yep. Parents just trying to control us, just like they'd call us to come change the TV. From, we're upstairs, but we got to come downstairs to change the TV. We were the remote control. So I'm not surprised at all. They just didn't want us on the phone. I went through the same thing. So thank you for the super chat. Ali Pay2C or Pay2CK Sim 499 says, in NY we had a blackout that hit in 2004. We had a neighborhood cookout because the meat was going to go bad. It was crazy, but we had fun. That's good. And that's what it is about. It's about community coming together. It made sense for everybody to cook and eat and, just try and keep each other sane until the lights came back on. So I'm glad it turned out well for y'all. Exclusively exclusive. Send $5 says, when I get a call on my landline, my Wi-Fi goes out and I have Xfinity. Wow. And 8 people agreed with that. That's interesting. So that just shows you that they're eventually going to get rid of the landlines. But thank you for the super chat. Jay Jersey Girl says a compass always points north, and get an address book. Yeah, I remember those. Those address books were life in the 90s. We had everybody's phone number in our own little address book. First, last name, address, you know what I'm saying, phone number. So, yeah, we need to go back to those, to address books. Because, again, if you can't access your phone and all your numbers on your phone, you're literally shit out of luck. So, yeah. I remember we used to memorize everybody's phone number. We didn't even, I mean, we had address books, but for the most part, we had so many numbers memorized. I just finally got my number memorized, and I've had this phone number for a while. So I would just have to go on my phone and see what my number was. Sin Kawali 19 sent $49.99. Thank you so much, sis. Sin says, hey T, it's been a bit. Sorry, I was busy. Finally finished school. I'm officially an engineer. Thanks for always keeping us updated on things in your city. You and your city and their people are in my prayers. As a community, we shall get through it. Thank you so much, sis, and congratulations on your engineering degree. That is awesome. So thank you for checking in. I appreciate you. Let's see here. LaRonda B sent $5, says, we have to stay prayed up. We will make it through this storm. Amen. Thank you, LaRonda. Let's see here. Miss Twilight Speaks sent $20. She said, honestly, that was the plot all along. Revenge, cruelty, Blue City bullying. The goal is to suspend the elections and hide those files. Ooh-wee. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Once again, shout out to Dreams Local for gifting 10 memberships on top of the 5 that she already gifted. So thank you for that. Don't shadow ban me. YouTube says, thanks for the gifted membership. Trump is violating our First Amendment right of free speech. Martial law is coming. Nazi Germany 2.0 is amongst us. Wake the F up, people. Thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate you. Todd French 600 sent $5. Says, I am a retired military and I have experience with flashbang grenades. They have enough concussive force to blow your eardrums. They are very dangerous. Are you serious? I don't even know what they are. I just see them throw them. I didn't know what they cause. That is scary. So if they're throwing that under those people's car, those kids could have went deaf. You're talking about a 6-month-old baby. I didn't even know that that's what flash grenades did. I thought that they just made a big flash to like blind you and move you out the way. Wow. That is frightening that they're using that type of power in just a regular residential neighborhood. Thank you for that information. Wow. Lenny Mills sent $9.99. Thank you so much for this super chat. I appreciate you. Fujimoto Chica 2487 sent $5. Says, I appreciate you for sticking to the facts and evidence, even though it just refreshed. Hold on. Even though it's a horrific timeline that we're in. You're so welcome, and thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you. Let's see here. Lenny Mills sent another $9.99. Says, just want to thank you for being you and getting the information out that legacy media is not reporting on. We love you, T. I love you guys too, and thank you so much. I appreciate you. Dexter Davis said he is praying for all the Zoes. Yeah, for sure. I thought that was so messed up when that Caribbean country said that. We'll take everybody but the Haitians. So it's sad. YDD Girl sent $10. Says, I want to say I appreciate you, T. You helped me throughout the years. You and your Discorders kept me sane. My heart goes out to you and everyone through this hard time. We're going to get through this. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, and thank you for the super chat, sis. Massage Queen sent $2. Says, I was on a chat line and it was called the Brooklyn Raven. Okay. So New York had the Brooklyn Raven, huh? That's interesting. Thank you for the super chat. Baby G779 said 999 says 90s kids were able to move like that because we still had God in our society. Clock it. They pushed to remove God from our society, schools, and everyday life, and all hell broke loose. Wow. I never thought about it like that. But it makes sense. Because I remember I pledge allegiance to the flag and all that in the morning. You know, by the time we got to junior high, I believe they got rid of it. But yeah, like all through elementary, we had to say the Pledge of Allegiance, you know, and there was prayer in the schools. I remember we had, what was that? It was like in 5th and 6th grade. I forgot the name, but they would come get us and take us to like church. You know what I'm saying? Like during the school day. Like if you were a Christian and you wanted to join, you'd have to ask your parents. But they would come and get us. It was like, not vacation Bible school. It was something at school. But they would come and they would take us up the street to a church and they would just teach us about the Bible and stuff like that. It was like religious class or something like that for 5th and 6th graders. I don't know if y'all had that at y'all's school. But I never thought about that. Yeah. They would take us to religious class. Bible school. Maybe that's what it was called. Who said that? S-Town. Bible school. It was something like that, but I remember it was only like, you know, once a week. I forgot what days. But we used to love it. They'd give us snacks and we would just learn about like, you know, Bible stories like Samson and Delilah and stuff like that. And, you know, how she was a Jezebel and cut his hair. That's very interesting. So other people had that too. Okay. Let's see here. Rose Marin. What Rose got to say? She said $4.99. She says, T, you got to stop telling on yourself when you talking to the youngins how much things weren't used to cost. LOL. Also, I fed my bunnies from my garden, so they love me. Oh, yeah, I remember you were skeptical and you got the big planters and you were able to grow all the salad and the lettuce for your bunnies. I remember that. That was like you had like the whole hydroponic system, which was like really awesome. So I'm glad that the bunnies enjoyed it. Well, yeah, man. I was like, never again will I harass these Cinnabon kids. They didn't care, child. The Todiva sent $2 and said, LOL at the Cinnabon story. Man, that was crazy. Let's see here. Fujimoto Chica says, now this is straight up 1984 by George Orwell. Yeah. They always put things in the books. What were we talking about the other day in Discord? And I was going to try and play it for y'all because somebody sent me the video. But if y'all do not know, in Call of Duty Black Ops Ghost, which came out a few years ago, that whole storyline is about them doing an operation to kidnap the Venezuelan president. And then the Venezuelan president gets kidnapped. It's in Call of Duty Black Ops Ghost. We were talking about that. Somebody brought that up. So they always put things in books and in movies, predictive programming, and in video games as well. Like Detroit Becomes Human. Let's see here. Hold on. Just refreshed. Okay, Jaden Whedon sent $4.99 says, but do all minorities stand with us? Everyone else voted for that man in office. You know, again, no. That would be a lie to say that all minorities stand with black people because they don't. You know, but like I said last stream, you got to do what you feel is right in your heart. If you feel the need to step up and stand in solidarity, cool. And if you feel the need not to, you have every right to do as well. But my only thing is, like I said at the beginning of this stream, understand that they are targeting everyone. That's what I want people to understand. That at this point, regardless of who voted what, it's affecting everyone. So, but thank you for the super chat, love. Appreciate you. Let's see here. Jay Buggin sent $5. Said, I started riding the bus at 10 years old in 98. Then was selling magazines door to door at 13 years old. I'm lucky I didn't get snatched. What a time. Yeah, I mean, that's just how it was. I mean, we're riding the bus at the same age, the city bus, you know, without a care in the world, you know. And these kids now, they have these helicopter, parents. You know, there's like long lines at like, I mean, go to any given school, elementary, even high school, just long lines of car, you know, dropping kids off, picking them up. We didn't have that. We walked to school in the cold, waited at bus stops in the cold. You know, that's why we're built for tough now. So yeah, no, these kids nowadays, they're very, very, they have it very good. You know, some of our parents didn't even have cars, to be honest with you. And if you had a car, maybe just one for the family. Wasn't, you know, a 2-car household for most people. So, yeah. I'm not surprised you were on the bus at 10. A lot of us were. Walking to the corner store, you know. Even back in the day, I remember walking to the corner store with my friends so they could get cigarettes for their parents. You know, they just have a note. Note from my mom. Give them cigarettes and, you know, go home. So, yeah, times have definitely changed. Yeah, we walked to school. I'm talking about we were deep. Especially when we used to live in Richfield. When I was out there for 3rd grade before I moved to St. Paul. It was all of us neighborhood kids. We'd go house to house as a group. You know what I mean? So we start from my house. We get Justin and Tony. We go to the apartment building and get Kara. Then we go to another apartment building and get some kids from over there. And by the time it was time, and we'd get up early, right? Because it would be at least 30-minute walk to school. And we get all the kids, and we'd be like maybe 10, 15 deep. And that's what we did. There was no buses. I remember like when I first moved out here, my kids' school was literally like maybe a 10-minute walk, and they had a bus for them. I said, why is there a bus for them? They should be walking. They're like, walking? No, absolutely not. So the bus, literally a 3-minute bus ride to their school. And I'm like, they would have never survived when I was a kid. We walked for 30 minutes. A bunch of 3rd graders. Rain, sleet, cold, it didn't matter. Yeah, I was shocked. Because I'm like, I can see the elementary school from the corner. They're like, no, this is their bus stop. The bus stop comes and gets all the kids in the neighborhood and drives them over. So for conferences, I would just walk. That's how close the elementary school was. I would just duck through the, you know what I'm saying, the back of the woods and just walk. I had a car, but I'm not about to gas up, you know, my car and do all that when I can just walk 10 minutes, because y'all know I like to walk anyways. So I would always walk to the conferences. So, yeah, these kids got it real good. Yeah, they had snow days for 1 inch of snow. Chap, we'd be out there. It had to be like a foot of snow for them to cancel school in Minnesota. It had to be literally 0 below. It can be 10 degrees, school's canceled, 5 inches of snow. What y'all still doing here? Oh, there's no school, they canceled school. There's literally just like 5, 6, 3 to 5 inches. Well, they canceled school, I don't make the rules. I'm like, we used to have on our snow boots and trug through the snow. They didn't cancel school like they do now. Y'all got it good. Damn, I'm really starting to sound like back in my day. Damn. Back in my day. That's really how I'm starting to sound now. But yeah, it's fun. It's just different, you know. And I just think that's why a lot of us like that grew up in the 90s, we're just, we were just built different. You know, not too much gets to us on just like a regular, normal, consistent basis. You know, you just have to, deal with stuff and roll with the punches. And, we were just left to our own devices. You only came inside, like, if you had to use a bathroom. Other than that, you were outside all day. You had to just figure out life. And we used to just roam. Like, when I think, I'm like, I can't believe, like, we just would just roam. We'd be, like, in whole nother, like, I don't know, just walking for hours. Just a bunch of kids just walking everywhere. It was crazy. It's so funny how that is. Let's see here. Steph 5 sent $49.99 says, thank you for keeping us informed. Love you, T. Love you too. You are so welcome, and thank you for the super chat, sis. Let's see here. Juanita sent 5. She says, there are elders that were born and have lived on the reservations that do not have birth certificates or social security numbers. Wow. This is crazy. I mean, how can you, I don't even understand, like, they're never to even go on the reservations. Like, the reservations here in Minnesota, they have, like, their own laws, their own governance. So the fact that they're trying to break these treaties, it's insane. Wow. Let's see here. Greg Williams says, hi, where can I find your email address? It's on my main channel. If you go to my channel, you'll see it in there. I can also write it after the show's over. I'll write it in the chat because I can't think of it off the top of my head because my other email, Yahoo hijacked it, and so I don't get emails anymore to my Yahoo email. So I have a new email, but it's Gmail, but I can't think of it off the top of my head, so I'll write it down once the stream is over. I'll have it pinned for you. But thank you for the $19.99. I appreciate you. Let's see here. J. Dor Franny sent 5 says, I usually don't have nobody's number until I memorize that person's number. That's good. I have to write stuff down because I'm going to forget. Okay. Candace says, hey, T, not sure if you've been keeping up what's going on with Krishan's son. It's heartbreaking. What happened to Krishan's son? I haven't been keeping up. I know Blueface popped up on my timeline. I guess he's fucking with Stunner Girl. But I haven't been keeping up with Krishan at all. I'm going to have to look into that. Baby G sent $4.99 says, not sure if you mentioned it, but they are moving to cancel the midterm elections as of 2 hours ago on Fox News and CNN. Are you serious? But trying to backtrack? This is crazy. This isn't, and this is why all of this is going on. Trying to see if it comes up. It's not coming up recent for me. Everything that's coming, oh, well, hold on. 2 hours ago. Oh, that's something else. City on Edge. No, that's something else. Associated Press. Yeah, I'm not seeing any. Oh, actually, I take that back. Aaron is on it. Aaron just said something. Let's see what Aaron has to say. I found Aaron's video. Hold on. Oh, hold on. Why is it
we have some serious.
Okay, let me pull up Aaron's video. I guess he just broke the news or something. So. Let me okay.
Some serious news this afternoon. In a new interview with Reuters, Donald Trump has been in his clearest form yet, saying that we should not have a midterm election. He was asked point blank about his prospects heading into the 2026 midterms, was upset and expressed frustration that Republicans may not do well and that the party of the president typically does not perform well in midterm elections. He said, quote, "It's some deep psychological thing, but when you win the presidency, you don't win the midterms. When you think of it, we shouldn't even have an election." This comes just 1 week after he went on stage in front of House Republicans and joked about abolishing the 2026 midterm elections. Well, that joke on stage has now turned into a serious comment he boasted about in an interview with Reuters. We will see if this takes in another form. It's also unclear how he would even do something like that. But this is what the president is now openly talking about right now. And people need to know about it. So spread the word. And as always, follow along for all the news you need to know about.
That is scary. Let me see if he got anything else he's posted. Aaron, be on it. Okay, ICE Deputy Director resigns. Watershed moments. Trump ambassador. European troops arrive in Greenland. This is insane. It's so much news. It's so, like, when I tell you, I feel like my mind is just overwhelmed. It's just news constantly. You can't even keep up. And then I keep getting this. I keep having to refresh. I'm constantly getting content isn't available. I don't know if anybody else is getting that. Can you put a teacup if y'all are getting this on YouTube? It's happening every time. It's been happening all morning. I'll get this, and then I have to hit refresh. This has never happened before.
We have some news right now. The people of Iceland are furious at the United States. Why? Because privately overnight, Donald Trump's nominee to be the next ambassador to Iceland privately joked with other members in Congress that Iceland would be America's 52nd state and that he would be the governor of Iceland. According to The Guardian and Politico, Billy Long, former congressman, joked with former colleagues that he was going to be Iceland's governor once he's confirmed as Trump's ambassador to Iceland, and that Iceland would be America's 52nd state. Canada, in his mind, would be America's 51st state. The foreign minister of Iceland says, quote, "These words spoken by Billy Long, who Donald Trump has nominated as ambassador to Iceland, may have been said in jest. Still, they are offensive to Iceland and the Icelandic people, who have had to fight for their freedom and have always been a friend to the United States." Thousands of people across.
Okay, so I'm seeing the majority of the chat putting teacups in. That is freaking disturbing. Like I said, that just started happening today when I was getting everything set up for this stream. You know, I'm putting all my clips together and I would hit play and it would say, you know, it can't be played right now. And I'm like, okay. And it happened in every single video. Like I'm having to like refresh everything. It's like as soon as you click a video, it won't play like it's supposed to play instantly. Oh God. It feels like censorship. Like, oh, I'm over here cracking my knuckles. I crack my knuckles when I get nervous. It's like, oh. It just feels like they're just trying to like, they're going to like eventually like take down these social media platforms. I don't know. Yeah, everything you click on, like first, it just does it. Let me try and click on something and see if it does it. Okay, I didn't do it that time. Okay, how long have I been on here? It's already 7 o'clock. I've been on here for 2 hours. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, Larry, thank you so much. Larry Reed Live, sent $99.99. He says you're being censored due to your woke content. It makes sense. Because my stream is back up now. It was saying when I was showing y'all that video with the ICE stuff, it made it poor, but now it's showing that it's excellent again. So the stream is back up. But it's very interesting when I was talking about that and I was showing the last video, it was showing that it was poor. I'm going to take a screenshot of the screen now. But thank you so much for the super chat, Larry. I really appreciate you. Thank you. Yeah, this is insane, all the stuff that's going on. It's frightening. And like I said, it's coming to a city near everybody. You know, they're doing the run here in the Twin Cities. But just like with George Floyd, you know, the Twin Cities is in the middle of America, and they want that energy to spread from east to west. And that's why they're here and antagonizing and just all the stuff that's going on. Let me see if there's any more updates on there's this particular Instagram page I'll be on. See if there's any updates here. And then we still got to talk about Tichina Arnold before I get up out of here. Give me just a second here. Let me pull this up. Okay. Trying to see if they've updated anything. Okay, the school situation. What is this? Young Somali woman arrested by ICE. So this was just 30 minutes ago. Another ICE pullover. Okay. So yeah, it's still going. I'm just like, there's certain pages that I follow, and yeah, there's still same thing, pulling people over, getting at folks. Yeah, wow. Okay, so let's move on and talk about Tichina Arnold before I get up out of here. So she recently did an interview with Dean Cole. And so in that interview, she talked about a lot of stuff, from, I guess, colorism, people not really liking the jokes that Martin said about Pam, because, you know, they would always go back and forth and have all this banter. And I think it was SZA. She had recently, like, posted something like, you know, growing up is realizing that Martin was a colorist and his jokes against Pam were not funny. And so, you know, she kind of played it off like, you know, it wasn't a big deal, you know. And again, for me, I can see when you're watching something with 2025 eyes and everything being so more aware and hypersensitive, how different it was. But that's just how it was back in the day. And you had to have tough skin. And one thing that I did like is every time Martin came at her, Pam came right back. It wasn't like he was just going in and then Pam just took it. I mean, she had jokes for his ass, you know, right back. But so she discussed that. Oh, it was Ari Lennox? Okay. I knew it was one of them. Thank you. I thought it was SZA. But Ari Lennox was the one who said that. And I know a lot of people gave Ari Lennox shit for that. But I can't even blame her. Like, you know, if that's how she feels and that's how she takes it. Because sometimes when we see things when we're younger, we don't realize the full context, right? And sometimes when we go back and watch stuff with our adult brain, fully grown and, you know, in a different time and space, you know, we see certain things. You know, the same way I watched Titanic as a child, you know, is not the same way I watched Titanic as an adult. You know, as a kid, I'm like, oh my God, you know, I'll never let go, Jack. And you want to see Rose and Jack together. And oh my God, this is a beautiful love story. But as an adult who's woke, I'm like, damn, this is classism and, you know, xenophobia, and Rose is a whore. She was cheating on her husband, you know, on her fiance. You know, that's how you watch stuff as an adult. I'm like, she over here running around the ship and giving, you know, Jack some ass in the basement. If the genders were reversed, Kyle wouldn't be shit if he was, screwing another girl on the ship. But as a kid, you don't get it. But as an adult, I'm like, whore. So you watch things differently as an adult. So I can't be mad at Ari Lennox, how she took it, because she's watching it through an adult, through adult eyes, and maybe experiences that she went through as a child being a dark-skinned girl, but Pam just didn't see it that way. Or should I say Tichina, excuse me. She didn't see it that way. But somebody said loving basketball too. Yeah, it's different when you watch stuff as an adult. Like, y'all know Forrest Gump is like one of my favorite movies. But the way I watched it as a 7th and 8th grader is very different than when I watch it now. Getting all the nuances and the context and realizing that, and I realized it as a kid that Jenny's dad was a piece of shit, but as an adult, he was molesting them girls. She went through a lot, and because of her molestation from her daddy, that's what caused her to be hypersexual and literally just, whore herself out all through the 60s and 70s and get into drugs, But I also clocked her as being a narcissist. I wouldn't have known that as an 8th grader. Because how you going to be ran through, drugged out, and now you want to come back to Forrest? That man, you know what? Objection. We're going to talk about Jenny real quick. That man loved you from the time y'all were children. Okay? He wrote you every day like he was in the Notebook. He wrote her all through Vietnam. He beat up that man who put hands on her. He always loved Jenny. And once she was wore down and ran through and had, the package, now you want to come back to Forrest? It's pretty narcissistic of you, Jen. So, the way you watch stuff as an adult is different than as a child. You know what I mean? So, I'm just saying. Still a good movie. I love it. But, as an adult, I do side-eye Jen. And then go hit it raw. So now I'm like, damn, poor Forrest. I hope he don't got the package. Yes, justice for Forrest Gump. So yeah, it's very different the way we watch stuff, So I can't get mad at Ari for how she felt as an adult going back and watching Martin. So anyhow, what we're talking about is Tichina. And she admitted to dating Brian Austin Green. So when I seen them trending, I'm like, well, what year is this? 1992? Like, what the hell? Tichina Arnold and Brian Austin Green? What are they trending for? Come to find out, they used to date. I didn't know that. But Brian Austin Green, honey, when I tell you back in the day, he was very hip, always rapping, very handsome. He was on 90210, and everybody loved them some Brian Austin Green. And Tichina Arnold was gorgeous. Especially if you were a brown-skinned girl, we looked up to Pam. Pam was beautiful, okay? So to find out that they dated, I was like, okay. But she said some things that were very interesting, and Brian Austin Green ended up going back on Deion Cole's podcast to kind of, argue her points. He wasn't really feeling what she said. So we're going to go ahead and listen to everything now here. Give me just a second. I really enjoyed it, though. I thought it was a good podcast. She made a lot of good points, so let me pull this up here. All right. Let's do a close-up here. Close that out. Okay. So let's go ahead and play this here. So this is the story, Brian Austin Green and Tichina.
Not me.
That's hilarious. You've been in this business all this time. You never been fucked around with it.
I dated. Well, I did say I did. The actor that I dated.
Yeah.
And the one white guy that I dated.
You dated a white guy?
I sure did.
That's good. How was that?
It was nice. But he was different. It was that. But I told him, I said, The reason why I'm not, we've come to the end of our road because I see you dating all these black women. Now you're dating me. And you're not going to end up with a black woman. You're going to share your riches and your legacy with someone white. And so I'm getting off this train.
Really?
Yeah. And I told you, I'm very good with endings. I'm like, yeah, okay, bye. And, but nice guy. But yeah, really, really nice guy. But it's just, I knew it wasn't going anywhere, but it was too close. I don't shit where I eat, boo-boo. Not me. It was a great experience because he was a good human being. He was a good human being. And I think in life I had to experience that so I know what the other side is. And, it's just not something that I want. I really love black men. I'm just attracted to black men. That's my natural. It comes down to everything. The pheromones, the smell, and everything. The everything.
You liked him and he liked you.
We liked each other, but he pursued me. He actually took me on a date we did the red carpet. He asked me to, I was like, what?
I can just picture you going.
And this is in the Hyatt Martin too. Yeah, I was like, what? But he was good looking and stuff. And I said Brian Austin Green, but he was very well off.
Really?
Yeah. Nice guy.
Oh, wow.
Nice
Brian,
guy.
Oh, yeah.
Nice
Brian
guy.
get down.
Oh, and great, rapper. He was good at writing. He had a studio in his house.
Oh, wow.
He, and that was another thing that attracted me. It was a great experience because he was a good human being. He was a good human being. And to him, he was very musically inclined. His dad is a jazz musician and stuff. Yeah. So there was a lot of commonality there. But he was like the only actor and white guy that I ever dated.
That's what's up.
I gave it a shot.
Yeah. Nah, that's dope. That's dope.
To him, he was very musically inclined. His dad.
I heard Tichina.
So now this is Brian Austin Green. So after she said that and it went viral, I guess he kind of low-key felt the way. And so he ended up coming onto Dion Cole's show to speak about it.
Tichina talking about it was just like a thing it was just something I was trying out. And nothing I ever really took seriously. Dating black women.
Yeah.
Again, let's go back to the story. Hip hop was my world.
Yeah.
I was doing hip hop clubs. I was going to all the places where hip hop was existing. So when you're dating someone, you usually date the people that you're around.
Absolutely.
So of course I was dating majority black women at the time because it was like, we had common interests. We had things that we were doing together. It was like, oh, let's go and, fucking go to the club and go do the things that you do. So it wasn't a conscious choice of like, oh, I want to date someone culturally who's different. Like that never even crossed my mind because we shared the same culture. And to me, like race, and I'll get into this later. I heard Tichina talking about it was just like a thing. Race for me, I hate that fucking word. I hate the word race. Like to me, they're different cultures. And I think as soon as we start changing the perspective on that and stop using the word race and instead start using the word culture, then it kind of brings us all down to a more common level. And we start going, oh yeah, what did you grow up in? Like cause my culture was this, we did this, we celebrated this way. And people start going, oh, okay, no, we're all people.
Yeah.
We're not like, different species. Like we're all fucking people.
Yeah.
We just have different things and different ways we grew up. So Tichina, she was doing, Martin at the time when I was doing 90210. She was singing, I was producing. So I became friends with her and Tisha quick. Like that was an easy friendship.
Shout out to Tisha.
Tisha's amazing also. So then Tichina started coming by the house. Race for me, I hate that fucking word. I hate the word race. Like to me, they're different cultures. And I think as soon as we start changing the perspective on that and stop using the word race and instead start using the word culture, then it kind of brings us all down to a more common level. And we start going, oh yeah, what did you grow up in? Like cause my culture was this, we did this, we celebrated this way. And people start going, oh, okay, no, we're all people.
Yeah.
We're not like, different species. Like we're all fucking people.
Yeah.
We just have different things and different ways we grew up. So Tichina, and I was just playing beats, and it was like, oh yeah, let's work on some stuff. And we were doing that. And then we ended up, because we were working together and we were around each other all the time, we just got along really well. So we ended up fooling around and kind of dating, but it's funny. So the pride that you say in culture and race, like I think coming from Martin, she was very clear in the, Tichina, I love you.
Sir, get to the fucking point. Good guy. Whoosh. Objection. Can you get to the point? Let's wrap this up. Wrap this up in the next 5 minutes. I mean, good. He's just talking around the mulberry bush. Let's go.
Love you. She was very clear on day one of like, nobody can know about this.
Really?
Nobody. Like, can't tell people, can't talk about this. Yeah. And so I was in my early 20s. Mm-hmm. I was living in a culture that wasn't accepting of me, but there was no way to get out of it, because that was just where my brain and my heart, and I was just playing beats, and it was like, oh yeah, Right. So I was really insecure. And then I have someone who I'm attracted to who's telling me like, oh, you can't tell anybody. Oh yeah. I think for me, like, it really triggered something of like, oh, okay, I'm not good enough for any of this. You don't even want your friends to know that you're hanging out with me. Oh, wow. And then at some point it flipped a little bit, and all of a sudden she was like cool with it. But I think somewhere in my mind, like, I had that subconscious switch of like, oh, this isn't a real relationship. This is just a thing that we're doing. And now maybe her view of it has changed a little bit, but it didn't even start in a healthy way. So it wasn't like it wasn't, you can't say, oh, it was this relationship where we just loved each other and we started off well, but then I was obviously not involved. It's
two sides to every story. But no, this is very interesting. Right. Right. For it to be kind of
again, Tichina, I love you. No. I'm not talking shit about you.
No, it's all love, definitely. But no, I get that though. That's crazy that it switched like that. So you wanted to be out with her, and
I wanted to in the beginning for sure, and then I quickly felt like, oh, okay, just like my love of hip hop and all my other shit, like this is I have to shut the fuck up and and sit in the back of the car and like just be happy that I'm in the car.
That's almost not fair.
But then things changed. But then things changed. Like we were in Jamaica for Regina King's wedding at the point. Like Regina. Yeah, Regina. Fuck, I haven't seen Regina in forever. I love Regina. Yeah. So then all of a sudden she was very like cool with it, but my head didn't understand. And I still felt insecure and weird with her and weird
for it to be kind of
out with her. And I had that thing of like, oh, people are looking at me funny, or they're wondering why the fuck am I here? Or who does this guy think he is? Or so I was mind fucking myself a lot during that time period, because that was, imagine living in a world where literally the culture that is your world, you're not accepted by. So you're like, now what the fuck do I do? Yeah. I love wearing tennis shoes. Nobody fucking wants me to wear tennis shoes ever. So I've got to wear these dress shoes, but I fucking hate these dress shoes. Yeah. I want to wear these tennis shoes, but now everybody's looking at me like, bro, why the fuck are you wearing tennis shoes?
You basically saying that you was as true as you could be until you couldn't be no more, right?
I was as in it as I, at that point, felt like I could be. Like I wasn't in a space of having adult conversations and sitting down and talking about emotions and, how committed are you? And what are we doing here? But like, we didn't out with her. And I had that thing of like, ever have. Though she reminded me this morning of a story. I ran into her at Macy's with my ex-wife, Megan, and introduced them. And I said something to Megan of like, this is the worst girlfriend I ever had. I don't remember because I'm 52 and my memory sucks. But yeah, I've always had that kind of relationship with her where like we were unapologetically ourselves. So even when she in her mind made the choice of like, I don't want to do this, I don't want to get hurt. She had all sorts of reasonings to not want to be in it anymore. Yeah. We never held it against each other ever.
Did you consider that kind of racist, the way she kind of thought?
When I heard her on your show?
No. I mean, maybe.
No, I didn't know that.
Talking about when you all were dating.
No, never have. Though she remember.
You understood it.
He's still going on.
I understood it because, again, I was super insecure. So I was like, of course you feel that way.
Yeah.
You're on Martin. Like, of course you don't want people in your community to know that we're together. Yeah, I get it, Yeah. So I bought into it. I was hating on myself just as much as everybody else that was watching the show was hating on me. Damn. I was like, yeah, you're right. I don't belong. Yeah, what am I doing in this? Like, oh, you're absolutely right. But what fucking choice do I have other than to continue to do? Again, I was in my car and it was hip hop. That was my world, man.
That was your world, right?
Nothing to this day, nothing makes me happier than getting in my car. And if you open my phone right now, I'm on Spotify listening to Mos Def's curated Spotify channel. Like that is Gangstar and Organized Confused. Like that's my world.
That's love.
That's my
love.
shit.
You understood it.
Okay, all right, that's enough. Let me come back on the screen. Oh, that was a long rebuttal. Not enough and shit. Anyways, and again, I liked Brian Austin Green as a kid, but I think Tichina clocked the T. For me, what I get from this is that she's not saying that he was a bad guy. What she's saying is what a lot of black women and women of color go through when they are dating interracially. Are you here for a long time or a good time? And she felt in his position, he's on 90210. That show definitely lasted a lot longer than Martin, right? Like, do you really see yourself, marrying me, walking down the aisle? Do you see this being more? Because I'm sure Tichina wanted to take it to the next level. She didn't want to just be somebody's girlfriend. And the only thing that he can equate with her culture is hip hop. I was so into hip hop. I don't see race. Hip hop this, hip hop is not the only thing that's tied to African American culture. And I hate when people make it seem like African American culture is only hip hop. It's so much more to African American culture than that. But that's the only thing that he can seem to home in on, which is strange to me. And let's keep it real. Of course, hindsight is 2020 and the future is 2020. But if he was really into black women, or he really liked, the culture, Tichina wouldn't have been the only black woman that he dated. And especially once it became popular to date interracial, you didn't have to be quiet. Maybe Tichina wanted to keep it on the DL, but I'm sure there were many black women who would have dated him and had no problem making it public. The only people that we ever saw him publicly with were white women. Even now, the person that he got married and that he would have been leaving his generational wealth to was Megan Fox. He has not one but 3 kids with her. And then from what people are saying, she turned their kids trans and had them dressing like girls. And I remember there was a bunch of controversy back in 2022 with his 3 boys because she kept putting dresses on them. He finally divorced her, and he's with another woman, and she's white. And they just had a baby about 2 years ago. So he's a father of 5. His oldest child is also white. I don't know who that one's mother is, but he's white. But this is, let me show you some of his kids here. So I just don't feel like Tichina was lying when she, sometimes you have to look at things a little bit deeper. And unfortunately, when you're coming from, the black perspective, you got to look at things like that. Like, is this person that I'm dating outside of my race, does he really want to be with me? Or is this just some type of kink? Or I've never been with a black woman before. You're my first. You know, a lot of people go through that. And nobody wants to feel like a fetish. So let me show y'all this. So Brian Austin Green, he has 5 kids. That's his oldest son. And these are all boys. This boy has on a swimsuit. Okay? So there's a bunch of controversy. That's his oldest, Cassius. He's 21. Noah, these are old pictures of them. They're a lot older now. He's 11 now. I don't know why they're using baby pictures, but he looks just like Brian. He got his daddy's whole face. This baby is 9. That's his newest baby. And this newest baby is about 2 years old now. Zane Walker Green. Well, let me check something real quick. I wonder if I had that other article up. Okay, I think this is on Facebook. Okay, this was the picture that went viral a few years ago and people were really mad. So this is Brian Austin Green's sons, Noah, Bodie, and Journey. And she was literally going around putting them in girls' clothes. She claimed that they wanted to dress like that. You know, I don't know, but I remember this caused a lot of controversy and people were really upset at Brian Austin Green. Like, you need to go get your kids. You need to do something. What is Megan Good on? But yeah, now he's with another white woman and they just had their little baby together. So I don't think Tichina Arnold was wrong to say that, or, you know, for even thinking that, because those are just some of the things that go across your head when you are in an interracial couple, especially when you're getting to know somebody. Am I here because it's a cool aesthetic and it makes you look hip and a part of the culture? Or are you really trying to, you know, make a life with me? Because see, the difference between a Brian Austin Green and let's say a Bubba Sparks dated predominantly black women and he's married to a black woman, you know? So if his dating history showed that, then I could say, oh, well, maybe, you know, she was maybe reaching a bit, you know, he wasn't like that and she just didn't know. But his dating history has been mainly white women. I haven't known him to date any other type of women since this secret relationship he had with Tichina. And then another thing, him saying, I don't see race, I don't like the word race coming up. That also honestly doesn't sit well with me either, because I don't like when people say that they don't see race. There's race in everything and there's nothing wrong with seeing race. That is what makes, you know, these Bubba Sparks, y'all. Oh, maybe Paul Wall, I'm sorry. But Bubba Sparks, don't he got a black wife, or am I thinking Paul Wall? I'm sorry, Paul Wall. I thought Bubba Sparks did too, but Paul Wall definitely has a black wife and mixed kids. John B is another person as well. Thank you. John B as well. David Bowie. That's another person. Al Pacino. No, not Al Pacino. What's the other one? From Goodfellas. I see his face in my head. Not Al Pacino, the other one. He had a black wife. Robert De Niro. Thank you. Robert De Niro. Okay. Yeah. So I just didn't like that when he was like, you know, I don't, you know, see color. I don't like race being brought up. Race is a very real thing. And we're seeing that happening now in Minneapolis and other cities. Nobody's looking at your culture first. They're looking at your race. They're looking at the color of your skin. So people who always say that they're colorblind or they don't see color, people like that make me nervous because you're not being genuine. As a human being, you see color and it's okay. It's okay to say that, hey, you are a white man. You didn't ask to be born a white man no more than I asked to be born a black woman. It is okay to see color. What's not okay is racism and discrimination and prejudice because of said color. But it's definitely okay to see race. I never understand why some white people do that. I'm like, I don't see race. Why not? I do. Okay? So, yeah, that always came off as weird to me. But, another thing he needs to understand, too, is that he has the luxury of being tone deaf and kind of ignoring, like, what Tichina was saying. But that's, like, a real thing. That's part of the privilege that he's able to have, is that he can move in and out of spaces. Because, again, not being judgmental, but back in the day, let me see if I can find some of Brian Austin Green's, because he used to rap. Like, he was like, he had bars. He used to, like, literally, he had like a dope ass song back when I was like in 3rd or 4th grade that we used to like always rap to. Brian Austin Green rapping. Probably can't even play it though. But he had some dope songs back in the day. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to play it. Let me see. Oh, same content. Warning. Hold on. Because he had a music video out. Even the Lawrence brothers, Joey Lawrence, he used to be out here singing and doing all types of stuff. David Silver rapping. I just want to okay, here's a 38-second clip. So this should be okay. This is him pretending to be David Silver, but he was also like that in real life. He really rapped and had music videos and stuff when we were growing up. So, let me click on this. See? This keeps happening, you guys. This whole content is not available, try later. Something is going on with social media. This has been happening all day. Hit refresh.
Pick it over there.
I'm making mic, check it. Yo, here I am. I'm making mic, check it. Yo, I wanna know mic check. I wanna know mic check. I break the level up. I wanna know mic check. Yeah, I wanna know mic check. Yo, I'm making.
I need some more reverb here.
That was the Brian Austin Green that we grew up with. For y'all who don't know. Like, he used to be rapping on 90210. He had music videos. He would be on MTV. Like, he was that dude back in the day. But, oh, don't spill that water. I say that to say this. The difference is that can always be seen as a phase and he can move on. When was the last time y'all seen Brian Austin Green rapping? You wouldn't, unless you were a kid that grew up in our era. A lot of y'all's kids that was born in the 2000s and beyond, y'all didn't even know this side of Brian Austin Green. Nobody knows him for rapping, hip-hop culture, all this stuff that he's saying, the culture, hip-hop. No one knows him for that in 2025. We haven't known him for that since the probably mid-90s. So that's part of the thing that Tichina was worried about. Are you really here for me? Is this going to be, are you going to be true to the culture 10, 15, 20 years from now? And as we see, he's not. He's just a regular lily white guy. And that's okay, because we all grow, we all evolve. So she kind of saw what it was. I'll never forget Patrick Bet-Davis from the PBE. I always mess up the acronym for his podcast. Sorry about that. It's something about acronyms. But I remember Patrick Bet-Davis was talking, I'm Armenian. When I was growing up in California, I think he didn't live in the hood, but he was around blacks. And he talked about all these black women that he dated. Oh, I used to love me black women. I dated several black women. I'm not racist. I used to date black women. And I thought to myself, it's very easy to say that you dated a black woman or that you slept with black women, but who's getting your wealth? You made sure that when it was time for you to marry, you didn't even marry your own. You married a white woman. Your kids are half white. So again, those are a lot of the things that black women especially think about in the back of their mind. Like, is this somebody that's going to really take this relationship seriously. Because for the most part, I'm not saying every woman, but for the most part, most women, you know, they want to be married, have kids, you know, white picket fence, especially if you grew up in the 90s. That was goals. It's these new kids that just, you know, I just want to, you know, don't even need a father or whatever. That's the mentality now. Like, just, you know, I can do it all myself. It's not easy doing it by yourself. But especially back then, you know, that was drilled into you, you know, married and kids and stuff like that. So for her, she's looking at that. Yeah, just like Miley Cyrus, Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. A lot of people don't know Mark Wahlberg when he was Marky Mark. It's such a good vibration. Vanilla Ice. Ice Ice Baby. Now he's on the Home Gardening Network, building houses and stuff, flipping houses. He used to be a rapper back in the day. So I don't think she was wrong for that. Yeah, I guess we could say Travis too. Kelsey. We could definitely throw him in there. You know, so Pink, she's another one. Pink used to love all types of black peen. That's how for y'all who don't know how she got her name, us 90s kids remember how Pink got her name because she talked about it on Behind the Music. Some black dudes gave her that name. Pink was another one. Very into hip hop. And I love Pink. I'm a big fan of Pink. I love her music. Her music got me through some hard times. You know what I'm saying? She has some good music. But yeah, when she first came out, she was more hip hop, R&B. But you know, she's with her. I like her husband. I liked him for her. Carey Hart, I think that's his name. He did the dirt bikes back in the day. He was always riding around on dirt bikes. I think that's his name, if I'm not mistaken. You know, so you know, for some people, it's just, you know, a fad. And for some people, you know, they're really in love with that black woman. But I just think that's just what it was for Tichina. She wanted to keep it private, and I don't blame her. Especially if you don't feel like there's going to be anything with that particular relationship. Why blast it to all the media? And it would have caused so much controversy, especially being that it was an interracial relationship. And sometimes it's just better to keep your relationships private because the second you make it public, then it brings in all types of opinions. And that's the quickest way to destroy a relationship, is bringing unwarranted opinions and naysayers and people who don't, you know, wish you well anyways into your situation. So I don't blame her for keeping it private. But yeah, you know, again, yeah, Kid Rock. Don't get me started on Kid Rock. Boy, with the bang, boogie with the bang. With him and Limp Bizkit, Fred Durst. Oh yeah, Kid Rock was into black women, loved smashing black women. You ain't seen him with a black woman since. So a lot of people will use the culture to get on and have adjacency and, you know, get in good in certain inner circles. And then once they get in, they're out. Just like Jelly Roll. No tea, no shade. But we talked about this a few months ago. And I love his music. I listen to his country music. His music is very inspiring. You done lost all that weight. You know what I'm saying? Is him and Bunny still together? Because I had heard a rumor they were separating, but I don't know. But I remember when Jelly Roll, he was a hardcore rapper. You know? He got in with hip hop. Hip hop folks supported him. Big fat white boy who could rap, doing his thing. And then once he got his support, branched off the country and took off. And he's doing his thing. He's doing his thing. No shade, because I enjoyed, that's one thing I loved about Nashville. They played good music out there. And they showed Jelly Roll a lot of love. So, yeah. So I don't blame Tichina for kind of feeling that way and, wanting to make sure that he was going to be very sincere, because see, he can always bounce back. It's always easy for him to change and switch up. For her, she could have been typecasted. It could have made, unfortunately, black men in the Hollywood community feel away, like, you dating this white boy. You know what I mean? It could have, had ramifications for her if she would have went public. Whereas for him, it would have been all good. There wouldn't have been too many ramifications for him. So, yeah, people forget. Jelly Roll started off as a rapper. But, shout out to Brian Austin Green. He's still like a cool guy. I was just getting bored. Y'all know I like people to get to the point. He was just talking and talking and talking. And, it's like he's talking, but he's trying to also walk on eggshells because he doesn't want people to think that he's racist. Don't nobody think you're racist, boo. That never even crossed my mind. He really didn't have to come out and explain himself. But, he chose to, so people are going to say stuff. But I think, too, for him, like I said, it was just something to do. It was a phase. It was a fad. And that's okay. It is what it is. People grow. People like certain things when they're younger and they don't like them when they get older. But I just think he needs to also just understand that I don't think she was saying that with malicious intent. She was just, being honest. Because a lot of times, people will get into these relationships and my man. And then when that person is ready to really settle down, they make sure to leave their generational wealth with those of their own race. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. But not everybody's going to allow you to be their, I guess, their pit stop, if that's the right word I can use. You're not going to pit stop me and use me when it's convenient for sex and to, sow your royal oats. But then when it's, now that you're in your 40s and you done had your fun, I grew up in Minnesota, so this is nothing new to me. I went to school with a lot of white girls who were like this. Dated nothing but black guys in high school. You know what I'm saying? Black men. Oh my God, I love black guys. They're so hot. Some of them even had mixed kids. But now that we're all older and in our 40s, a lot of them same white girls I went to school with who did nothing but chase black men, guess what their husbands are? White. The one girl's a Republican. One got a mixed kid and the rest of her kids are white. So that's all Tichina Arnold was saying. Not everybody wants to be somebody's stopping point. If we're going to do this, let's do this for real. Meet me at the altar in your white dress. But again, no tea, no shade. That's just what it is. Yeah, the one girl's a Republican and everything. She's like super MAGA, She sent me a friend request. Not interested. You're not even the same girl I went to high school with. Girl, bye. We have nothing in common. But yeah, how long I've been on here? Ooh, 3 hours. Time for me to go. Let me read these last few. Let me read these last few super chats. I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. I know we've been on here for a while. We've had a good time. Oh my gosh, this was a long 3 hours, but I enjoyed this. I enjoyed talking to y'all. Y'all kept my mind off of some of all the drama that's going on out here in Minnesota. I had a little mental breakdown. I had to cry. But it's okay. Y'all know I don't hide my emotions. What you see is what you get over here. Let's see. Kelly Renee sent $20. Says, happy birthday to your young king, sis. I'm going to catch the replay, just showing you some love. Hey, chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat, sis. Shannon Walters 6839 sent $2. Says Bacon's rebellion is why the elite legalized race. Oh, I gotta look into that. I've never heard of that before. But thank you for that info. I'm gonna have to look into that. Ansley Harvey sent $20 and said, LOL, do movie reviews, T. I remember I used to. I've done a few movie reviews on this channel. I remember I reviewed Black Panther and X-Men, Days of Futures Past. I really liked that. You know what I forgot? I forgot that Avatar came out on Christmas. I was going to watch it. I was going to go to the theater and watch it, and I just didn't have time to. Then we ended up going to South Carolina. But I just realized it the other day, like I have not watched the third series of Avatar. And I really want to go, but I'm like, damn, is it even safe to leave to go watch Avatar? But I really want to see it at like the IMAX, like the big showing. Maybe I'll try and go this weekend or something. I don't know. Was it good? I haven't even heard anybody talk about Avatar. Have y'all seen it? Did y'all like it? Like, I haven't seen no reviews. I haven't heard anybody talk about it. Because I loved Way of the Water. That was my movie. I loved the first series. I love the second. But I haven't heard anything about the third. So I don't know. Oh, yeah, I reviewed Sinners. Thank you. See, I be forgetting. I did. I reviewed Sinners. Yep. I liked that movie a lot. I watched it the other day, too. Okay, so Avatar Fire and Ash was good? Okay, you loved it? Okay, good. I gotta go see it. I gotta see it. That's one of my, man, y'all know Team Avatar franchise. Okay? I think James Cameron is out of this world. A lot of this stuff comes to him in dreams if you really study James Cameron and how he came up with the Avatar series and stuff like that. I believe he talks to spirits to get like a lot of his knowledge, a lot of the things that he does in his films, the technology. Like he knew the technology was coming out for Avatar. That's why he waited 10 years in between Titanic and Avatar to make the first movie. He waited for the technology and helped the technology be built. Yeah, study James Cameron. He's a deep, deep character. I've talked about him in a few of my deep dives. But yeah, I really want to see it. I really want to see it. So that's good to know that y'all liked it. I got to see it. Tiffany said, I never got into Avatar. Tiff, I'm going to need you to get into Avatar, ma'am. I love Avatar. It is good. You'll like it. Start from the first. You will like it. You'll see a lot of our culture in there. Sudanese people, the Native Americans. They mix in a lot of indigenous and African culture. It's deep. Let's see here. Shannon says the NWO, New World Order, is dividing into 10 kingdoms. Agenda 2030 left, and right now they're working together on the Hegelian dialectic. All right, Shannon. Clock that T. Shannon is woke. Thank you for the super chat, sis. Let's see here. C Beauty Blue 19, Sam 499 says, hello, T. I appreciate you keeping up with the news. I teach fifth graders. Many immigrants, some parents deported, and families divided. Trauma. Wow. I'm so sorry to hear that. And now they're trying to go into the schools. So, yeah, the teachers are stressed. I talked to a few of my teacher friends. They are definitely going through it. You know, and especially you got young kids, fifth graders. Couldn't even imagine. But thank you for all you do. Because being a teacher is not easy, and especially in these unprecedented times. So thank you guys. Thank you to all the teachers out here. Because I know a lot of teachers are quitting. They can't handle it. Not just the ICE stuff, but, you know, just what comes with teaching in general. So the fact that y'all are still hanging in there and being there for y'all students, I appreciate that. Let's see here. Jay says Megan Fox, not Megan Good. Did I say Megan Good? I'm sorry if I said Megan Good. No, Megan Fox. That's who I meant. Y'all not be getting up names mixed up. Okay, yeah, Megan Fox for sure. I didn't even realize I said Megan Good. Oh Lord. Yeah, no, not Megan Good. Let's see here. Clara May since 1706. Not 1706. Clara May 1706 sent $20. Says I'm a black woman with a white man, and that was a thought in the beginning. Fast forward 10 years, we've grown together, have a home, and trying for a family. Pray for us, T. Love you. That is wonderful, and I love to hear stuff like that. And again, that just shows that it was a genuine connection, and he was there for all the right reasons. You know what I'm saying? So congratulations to you and your white king, honey, okay? And I wish you many babies, you know? So I love stuff like that. I just think with Tichina's thing, she probably just was like, yeah, this dude's a little bit too into hip-hop, and maybe he's kind of using me like as an aesthetic or like a trophy, you know, behind the scenes. Because everybody knew they were dating behind the scenes. It was just the public that didn't know. So she might have picked up on some red flags and was like, yeah, nah. But I'm glad that it worked out for you, sis. So shout out to all my peoples in interracial relationships in the chat. Shout out to y'all. I love a good interracial relationship that is built on genuine love and not, you know, fetishization or fetishizing, you know, another ethnicity, or, oh, we're going to have pretty babies and weird shit like that. You know what I mean? Let it be built on genuine love and companionship. Because at the end of the day, that's what people are looking for. You know, when it all comes down to it, we're all human beings. We all want the same thing. You know, love, peace, happiness, grow old, see our children grow, you know? So shout out to everybody. Shelly in the chat says, 14 years for me and my Snow King. I know that's right. I know that's right, Shelly. I love to see it. Let's see here. Jay says Kid Rock is the worst. Yeah, I don't even recognize Kid Rock. The Kid Rock of today is not the Kid Rock of yesteryear from Detroit. I don't recognize this Kid Rock at all. But bless his heart. Let's see here. For the sake of Haiti, what's up? He says black women need to have the same standards for all race of men, including black men. Avatar was good. Oh, I agree. I agree. For any man, you need to know, you know what I'm saying, are they there for the right reasons? So I definitely agree. Thank you for the super chat, love. Let's see here. Rosie Simmer Vibes sent $5. Says, have you watched Stranger Things last season? No. I'm so behind my youngest when we was in South Carolina. Oh, Tay was on his Stranger Things. Everybody's like, he's downstairs watching Stranger Things. We had to call him up like, come up here for dinner. But he loved it. He's been watching it. I need to. What have I been into? I've been watching Married to Medicine. I got caught up on that last season to this season. I found a new show I'm really liking, Heart to Soul, on the OWN network. So I've been watching that. I'm trying to get back into Potomac. I just haven't had time to. But with just everything going on, my TV's just mainly been on YouTube, watching the news, you know what I'm saying, and on TikTok and on Instagram, just keeping up with the feeds. So I have not gotten a chance to indulge in Stranger Things. And y'all know I'm a Stranger Things fan. So I do want to get into that and watch it, but I just haven't yet, unfortunately. So, but thank you, sis. Because the last show I binge watched was From. And if y'all have not seen From is good. That show scared the hell out of me. I can't wait till they come up with I think season 3 maybe is what they're waiting for. Either season 3 or season 4. All I know, I watched all the seasons. From is really good. I really enjoyed it. The man with the yellow suit, oh my gosh. That was crazy. So, yeah, I haven't gotten a chance to binge watch anything really besides the few reality TV shows. And I've also watched, what's the one I've been binge watching too? The Mississippi Girls, the Bell Collective. I didn't realize they were back on, so I did binge watch their show recently as well. I ain't missing nothing. You know, Letitia and Greg, he's still, you know, creeping and doing weird stuff. But yeah, I like Bell Collective. I like that show. Okay, season 4. I watched the first episode of Dairy, screamed, and went to sleep and did not watch it again. I need to watch it. It was too late. I try and watch scary stuff earlier in the day, but I'm like, I'm going to watch it. It can't be that scary. Child, I was screaming. I was like, yep, that's enough Dairy for me. Welcome, you know what I'm saying? Welcome to Dairy. I'm exiting Dairy. So I turned it off and I forgot to get back into it. I do need to watch it. I heard it's good. I literally watched like the first 15 minutes and got freaked out and forgot to go back and watch it. So you just reminded me. I literally freaked out. Let me see. Key John Wheeler says, could you look into the biocomputer? Scientists are using human neurons to create supercomputers. Thank you for that, T. Let me copy and paste that because that sounds interesting. I would definitely let her look into that. Let me add that to my notes here. I have no info on that. I'm going to have to look into that, but thank you so much for making me aware of that. Let's see here. Cynthia6421 says Avatar 3 is bad. T, the longest wait for action. You're going to be bored? No! Okay. We'll see. I'm going to still watch it, though, just because I'm an Avatar fan. I'm still going to watch it. But thank you for that. Kirky Circle says, are you going to give us our annual award show fashion review, please? Y'all still want me to do, because the last fashion review I did, people was in their feelings. I was like, damn, maybe I need to stop doing these fashion. They took it so personal. I'm like, do y'all understand these are just jokes? Bitch, I'm not Joan Rivers. Like, people got really upset and they were unsubscribing. I'm like, okay, bye. I don't know if y'all want one, I'll do one. I don't care. I just do it for fun, for just shits and giggles. But yeah, people got really upset at my last fashion review, honey. They was in their feelings. How dare I not know the designers? I don't know the designers, bitch. This is not a fashion channel. I look at the outfit, I look at the hair, and I give my opinion. Matter of fact, I was getting like doxxed. Like, that's how mad people were. People were like in my DMs, cussing me out, sending me threats, stupid stands. And it came from all the stands, not just the barbs. I ignored them all. Y'all would not get my energy. But yeah, people were like really mad. I was like, really? Like, I do these reviews every year. So I don't know. I don't know what I said to piss them off, but they were bad. Oh, I was getting drugged. I said, okay, well, enjoy shit. Bitch still slept well. Y'all be mad as hell typing whole dissertations. I'll be like, okay. Bad. Over a fashion review. These hoes were mad for a week straight. Cussing me out, tagging me, sending death threats. So at that point, I said, okay, maybe I don't need to do these reviews anymore. I didn't know people were that upset. I didn't say anything bad. I was just like, yeah, I wasn't really feeling this outfit. I seen them in better. Oh, they were mad. That's why I don't stand none of you stands. I think all y'all are batshit crazy. All of them. Not just the barbs. All of the fandoms are crazy. Every last one of y'all. Y'all go hard for people who don't know you. Who wouldn't do shit for you if you ran up to them? Yeah. Where are you about to go? Yep, I'm on live. Chipotle? Go there and come right back. Do you not know what's... All right. Oh, I've been on them. I'm not playing. I need to know where you're going to be. I'm making phone calls. How far are you from the house? Do you have your passport on you? Yeah, it's that real now. He has to check in with me. It's 8 o'clock. I need to know where you're going. Oh, so he was like, are you recording? No, I'm on live. Yeah, I'm not playing. There's too much going on out here. It is too much. I've been cooking more too, to keep them home. Like, I cooked. I didn't cook today though, so I guess he's about to go get Chipotle. But I was cooking the other day after I came back. I got my energy back because I had to go through what I went through on Monday. And so when I got my energy back Tuesday, I was cooking. Sure was. I was like, yeah, I cooked. You can stay home and eat. I just be worried, It's just a lot. It's a lot. So I be, as soon as I hear footsteps or doors opening, I'm getting up from my room. Where you going? Because, their dad lives over north, Brooklyn Center area. Their grandmother is on the south side, and I know they want to see their grandma. And it's just like I'm trying to, keep them off of the south side. So, yeah. But on that note, honey, let me see. Jay Jersey Girl says, read it, the book. Lots of details and scary parts. I've never read the book. I read The Langoliers when I was like in the 6th grade. I had no business reading that book. That was creepy. So I've read some Stephen King books. The Langoliers was creepy, but I never read It, Stephen King's It. Maybe I will. Or get the audiobook or something. Yeah. I think I got everybody. Oh, Joyful Jalen sent $4.99. He says, hey T, have you ever played in the snow like Tichina? Well, being that I live in Minnesota, yes. You know what's so funny? The white guys in Minnesota, they tend to love, especially brown skin, dark skin women, growing up. I mean, even now, So yeah, I've definitely dated out my race and stuff like that. And it was so crazy because it's like growing up, unfortunately, because I live in Minnesota, so you have a lot of the black men who tend to date white women, right? And so for me, it was always like men of other races, that would holler at me and stuff like that. Because unfortunately for some in my own community, I was too dark. They didn't really date dark-skinned girls when we were growing up in like the 90s and 2000s. So like a lot of the black guys in Minnesota either liked it mixed girls or really light-skinned girls. And y'all know me, honey. I'm not going to chase anybody. I don't go where I'm, tolerated. I go where I'm celebrated. Okay? So it was always like, what I'm saying, like either like the mixed guys who like me, the white guys, the Latinos, So, yeah. But that's how it is in Minnesota. There's a lot of interracial dating. Minnesota has one of the most biracial makeups, like a lot of biracial children in Minnesota, and in Seattle, I believe, is second. But yeah. But I also date black men. As I got older and black men matured, the ones that I ran across, They had no problem dating me. They had no problem with my skin tone. But I'm talking about like, high school. It was a lot of colorism. Like, oh, you're really pretty to be a dark-skinned girl, or they'll just tell you flat out, you're cute, but I don't date dark-skinned girls. So I heard that a lot growing up in Minnesota. And I thought that was normal. But then when I moved down south, because again, it's all about where you grow up. My friends who lived in like Atlanta, who grew up like in Charlotte, they didn't experience that. Black guys down there dated black women. So they never heard, oh, I don't date dark-skinned girls. So it really depends on the region. But then when I have friends in Cali, a lot of Cali girls, they still experience that a lot in California. That a lot of the black men there tend to date more exotical or Latinas and kind of overlook black women. So it really depends on where you grew up. But I notice it's not like that for my girls who were raised or grew up down south. They didn't get a lot of that like internalized colorism from like men down there. So like when I moved down south, I never had that issue. Like I would have dark-skinned guys. I remember one time I was at the gas station and this dark-skinned dude put up on me and he was trying to talk to me and I'm looking around like, and he was like, you. And I was like, huh? And he was like, yeah, what's up? And I was like, me? Because I was so shocked because I grew up in Minnesota where I was never, people would like just look through me and holler at because my homegirls, they were lighter. They were Eritrean. So a lot of guys always liked my homegirl. And she's a gorgeous girl too, So I was like shocked when this, random dark-skinned dude was trying to talk to me. And I'm like, me? Because up there, it was never that. It would always be either light-skinned guys, biracials. Those were the ones who approached me growing up. So, yeah. Somebody said it's like that in Vegas. Somebody said, wow, not in Oakland, but I know it's true. Yeah, I think Oakland is more black-centered. You guys are the Bay Area. That's where the Black Panthers started, I didn't get that vibe like that in Oakland, but definitely LA. Definitely LA area. Yeah. Yeah, it was like that for a lot of us growing up, But I think because now we have these conversations, and especially with social media, and that's one thing I would say about y'all's generation, is I love the fact that you guys have these dialogues and you guys call it out. We like, who did we have to complain to? You just took it on the chin and it was just the norm until you leave your environment, And like finding out like, yeah, like it was just odd. Like I would have dark-skinned homegirls and they're like, yeah, I was never told that I was pretty to be dark-skinned. Like I never was told that. But we were told that all the time in Minnesota. Like, oh, you're such a pretty dark-skinned girl. And I'm like, okay, thank you, I guess. Like what, like how do you even take that? Like how are you supposed to, you know what I mean? So, yeah. Dark Light 6TV says they grew up like that as well. Somebody else says it depends on the city and state down south. Yeah, it really depends on where you grew up. But like I said, I grew up in the Midwest. So a lot of times up here, if you're dark skinned, you're going to see darker skinned girls with dating somebody white or Hmong or Latino or biracial. That's usually how it went. You see dark skinned guys, they're usually with a white woman or a mixed girl or a Latina. That's how it was when we were growing up. But now, because I think people are more like aware of like, we have these conversations about, internalized racism and colorism and stuff like that. I think now a lot of men are starting to check themselves. So now you do have a lot of dark-skinned men up here in Minnesota who will holler at dark-skinned girls. But when we were growing up, nah. It was really not like that. So, it's okay. It is what it is. It's not nothing. I'm not going to cry about shit that happened 20, 30 years ago, but that's just how I grew up. That was my experience, So it took me a while to like really love the skin I'm in because I was made to feel like there was something wrong with being a dark-skinned girl, So Now it's like, shit, I love my skin tone. And if you don't like it, so what? That's your issue, not mine, you know? So that's why I'm glad, like I said, these conversations are happening, especially for like the younger generation, you know, because we didn't have a lot of that. It was like, well, maybe you should just try some bleaching cream. Well, everybody does want to bleach their skin. Like that shouldn't just be the, you know what I mean? Like that shouldn't just be like the result or like your response or, you know, you helping. How about telling us that no, there's nothing wrong with our skin tone and that we're beautiful brown skinned girls, you know? So, yeah. Somebody says they experienced that in the Pocono Mountain, PA. Wow, that's interesting. Somebody says they're from Florida and they experienced that. Yeah. Sassy says black is beautiful. It is. All shades. From the lightest to the darkest. It's all beautiful. You know, so again, we just got to teach people, you know, correction and teach our young boys and girls to love themselves. And, you know, a lot of young black boys went through that too, you know, colorism, people making fun of them for being dark skinned and, you know, stuff like that. So colorism doesn't just affect women. You had young boys who were teased by other black people, hence why they dated white girls, you know? So, yeah, it's really ugly the things that we do to each other. Somebody says bleaching cream. Yeah, bleaching cream was very popular growing up, you know? It was like, you know, for a lot of cultures, it's always better to go lighter and you don't want to look too dark, or even, you know, people saying stuff, stay out the sun, you know, stand under a tree. I remember I was out one time when I was like probably 16, 17. It was me and my homegirl. She's light skinned. And this dude, you know, we've known him for a long time. And he pulled up and, you know, it was hot. And I just happened to be the closest to the tree. You know, we're all chopping it up. And he was like, yeah, make sure you keep your black ass under that tree. And it's like, well, damn, what did I do? Like, because it's hot? It's like, you know, crazy. But those are the comments that you get from people. So somebody said skin bleaching is still popular in Jamaica. I saw Vibes Cartel and I was shocked. He finally stopped bleaching. It looked like his melanin returned. I didn't even know it was him. He looks so different. How long I've been out here? I've been out here for 3 hours and 26 minutes. It is 8 o'clock, child. It's getting late. Let's see here. I'm going to get ready to log off. I know it's getting so late. Ashanti Perkins sent 1999 says, hey T, longtime tea sipper, quiet discorder, but trying. I just want to say thank you for all you do. I'm only 27 and I love that you are down to earth and keep it real. We'll get more involved in the Discord, sending love. Thank you so much. Definitely get involved. You know, come on in, introduce yourself, join in the conversations. You know, that's how you get to know each other. That's how we get to recognize your name and stuff like that. So don't be shy. When I have another Zoom meeting, make sure you raise your hand and speak. I always love when like the new Discorders, you know, raise their hand. That's why I tend to call on y'all first. And we leave the OGs, okay, for the end of the discussion because we've heard from them millions of times. So we always love hearing from new people. So definitely don't be shy and, you know, introduce yourself during the next Zoom meeting. So, all right, y'all. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and log up out of here. This has been a very therapeutic chat for me. You know, lots of good conversations. You never know what we're going to talk about in here. You know, that's how that usually goes. But I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all's support. Thank you to everybody who sent a super chat. It means the world to me. Just thank you guys so much for just always supporting my channel and just being there for me. So thank you guys. And also, once again, thank you guys for the birthday wishes for my oldest son. I appreciate that very much. So I'm going to go ahead and log off, everybody. Be safe. Take care of yourselves. I love you guys. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.